welcome back to another edition of 13 Cards Subject Change. Oops, sorry, I tripped over something and John Moxley bled. Anyway, we're going back to the show today. Jesse's over there in his normal chair. Leroy's here. Leroy, long night, and yet you still didn't miss church, and you're still here on time.
No, I did miss church.
Oh, you did miss church. Okay.
The kids, my brother, because my mom is, unfortunately, she's back in her lovely place that she hates to be.
Yeah.
So she's in there. My brother was nice enough to watch the kids because I got to go see a Vikings game. Oh my God!
I'm excited for football season.
And I sent it a tweet.
These shows are going to be much later in the evening, but I'm excited.
Right. I sent a tweet to their thing because they said, "Hey, take pictures, hashtag them," and I sent it under our 13 Cards banner. I was like, "Oh, I hope I didn't see it up on the big screen because it would have been fun to see that." But Kathy was like, "I've never been tweeted before." I'm like,
it was the preseason. It was a preseason. Right. In between plays, I wasn't really paying attention. Anyway, I
was, yeah.
You know what?
Awesome. Yeah.
Holy crap! Oh, hold on.
What a week.
Hold on. What's our timestamp?
We're in a minute.
Cool. Okay, so Jade Cargill has said shit 3 times. She's apparently that bitch. And Tony,
baddest bitch.
Yeah, and then Tony cut the shit.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, and now we've added a sledgehammer. We don't know why. Anyway, so let's just start in the land of Jacksonville because
the land of the Jaguars.
Holy crap!
What the hell is going on?
Here's my opening statement.
What?
Here's the deal. We're gonna take a brief few moments here to talk to people in a language that they can easily understand.
Oh, really?
Jesse, look in my eyes. What do you see? It's called the cult of personality. I know your anger. I know your dreams. I've been everything you want to be. Basically, what I'm getting at here, folks, is
we got to fire Zach immediately.
I exploit you. Still, you love me. Folks, Phillip Brooks, it's the 3rd time and you still think it's a work.
I don't get it.
Zach gets a raise. What are you talking about?
For being a cult leader?
No, for just journalistic integrity.
Yes. But anyway,
don't worry, you can get a raise too.
Well, you guys are as deluded as Phillip Brooks apparently.
Oh no.
But anyway, Jesse. Jesse, let's start there. He's chosen this song throughout 3 different companies because I believe he used it in ROH
for a very
short period of time.
Yeah.
Folks, I don't know how many times we have to have the same conversation out there, but to Brian Last, there is one show that I think has been talking a lot longer about calling out BS in the back of AEW and being right longer than the Jim Cornette Experience and the corny drive-thru, and that's us over here. I'll take that distinction all motherfucking day.
Oh, no shit.
But anyway, no, Jesse, so Phillip Brooks has a song for his CM Punk persona.
Right.
I use that in air quotes because we'll get to that in a little bit. Before we get to the real stuff, it is reported that CM Punk is once again threatening to quit, threatening to walk out. All the reasons we'll get to because it's probably just who he is now as a person. But, Jesse, there's a band called Living Color.
Sure.
They came out about late 70s, early 80s, somewhere in that range.
1983, I believe.
Yeah, somewhere around there. They wrote a song that became such a cultural phenomenon that everyone knows it, but they don't know who wrote it half the time.
Right.
They were an all-black funk metal band.
Correct.
Highly political.
Yes.
And Corey Glover and the boys over there, Corey Glover's the lead vocalist.
Right.
They wrote a song. It's called Cult of Personality.
Correct.
And you know what's funny? There was a song in the 90s that was actually a song that was so upbeat and happy. People forgot it was about crystal meth.
Third Eye Blind, yes.
Yeah.
Semi-charmed life.
Everyone forgot the song was about
They're literally talking about doing drugs and just terrible stuff.
But it was on every radio station.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Kids Bop did it
I'm pretty sure Kids Bop did do it.
But anyway, proof Americans don't listen to lyrics.
Right.
Jesse, this song that I have in front of me that I've circled some excerpts, this is a song about a cult leader.
Yes.
This is a song that is not about the person who's going to save you from a tyrannical government. This is the person saying, like Mussolini, like Joseph Stalin. And you know what? Okay, they did it for effect, but throwing Gandhi in there, he kind of created a cult, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
There's nothing against the man for what he did, but it's just...
In that case, more positive, but yes.
Yeah, Jesse, there's a line here. You gave me fortune, you gave me fame, you gave me power in your God's name. I'm every person you need to be. That's Phillip Brooks! This is CM Punk!
Yeah, they started in '84.
Okay, so 84.
That Cult of Personality came out in '88.
So it was like their second or third record, somewhere in that range.
Like that.
I think it was like the second. There was a first, like probably official long P or LP.
Yeah.
It was from their
LP.
Vivid.
Okay, yeah.
And,
so
But just Jesse, you have long since been a man who watched this man's career.
Yeah.
It's in the lyrics.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, Zach and everyone listening, and Leroy. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I get tired of being correct. It gets very boring.
Yeah.
This happens
when
a
it
lot
happens
with us
so
here.
much to us.
We're really good at this.
You know what the sad
It's
part
sad.
is? We're actually more right than Dave Meltzer, and he's working for the fucking company.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've talked about this with CM Punk / Phillip Brooks before. I said it when they signed him. I said, when you sign CM Punk, you inherit the Phillip Brooks problem.
Funny how all this comes out, and it's like the year anniversary of him on Rampage. So they're trying to spin all the good shit by replaying his debut and this and that. Folks, I said this, and I don't mind saying this. I said this about Bernie Sanders. When that bird landed on his freaking podium, everyone stood up and cheered, even though it wasn't prompted. Yeah, it was the highest point in the goddamn hangar. That's why the bird stopped there. It would have pooped on him too. But anyway,
probably would have.
When you guys do that, okay, this is a bad comparison because it's like the worst thing in history. That's a Nazi mentality. Like, I'm sorry, it's the same thing whether you want to admit it or not. The Nazis were a cult. The people around Bernie Sanders believe he's the guy, even though he's technically the biggest con artist in the U.S. government.
We disagree, but this ain't a political show.
No.
No, I think there's better con artists in there. So.
Yeah.
Well, there are, but let's be honest.
He's pretty good, too.
Well, to be fair, though, he's about to be buried in New Jersey next to his ex-wife. Anyway, it's the tax write-off for the kids. They have no life and they have no discernible skills. Anyway,
that's true. That's good. Tax
so
write-offs
as we
are
move
great.
on, Jesse, when he came out, as I rewatched that, Jesse, the city of Chicago acted like Michael Jordan was back in his prime and was about to save the Bulls from whatever they are now. Which, by the way, is not bad, but he's about to put them over the top.
Here's the thing about CM Punk. CM Punk is incredibly marketable to a certain fan base, and he's incredibly marketable in many ways because of his personality. And I'm not diminishing his in-the-ring skills because those diminished over time a long time ago. But he's still very good in the ring.
With age, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but it happened rapidly because, you were away for 7 years.
7.5. And the reason why I correct you on that.
I thought it was longer.
No, it was 7.5. But here's why I say 7.5. Excalibur said it like 9 times on that Rampage. It was 7.5 years. We were 2 matches in a Rampage, and it was still 7.5 years.
Right. So
must have had Tony in his ear that night.
He is.
Oh yeah.
He's always been. Now, in the first part of his WWE run, he couldn't beat because he didn't have the star power yet.
He had nothing.
Yeah, he had Paul Heyman behind him, but unfortunately, unless your name is Brock Lesnar, that was going to be hard.
Look what happened to Aleister Black, now Malachi Black.
I mean, there's a lot of former Paul Heyman guys that just aren't there anymore.
Yeah. Cesaro was one too.
Cesaro was one. So, and by the way, it's not that Paul Heyman wasn't right about those guys. It's just they, there's a reason.
Yep.
So, and so during that first run, I always liked the kind of the plunky kind of indie guy. Came in the ECW, ended up winning the tag team championships with Kofi Kingston.
Yep.
Had a really cool feud when he turned heel.
The actual first best Kingston he's ever worked with.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Yep.
And
who was the other Eddie? I know one was Eddie Guerrero.
So it's Eddie Kingston, Eddie Guerrero, and Eddie.
Oh God, yeah, somebody did that too, and I just forgot about that.
Did he ever work with like Eddie Gilbert? No, Eddie Gilbert was way before.
No, that's way before his time.
Yeah.
I'm sure the name will come back to me, but
yeah.
But yeah, and it's just, I was a fan back then. I was a fan when they had him join the Nexus. I became a big fan, of course, when he had the pipe bomb.
Yeah.
Because back then I was starting to learn about a lot of the stuff behind the scenes and stuff like that. Dirt sheet stuff and all that. And then, on one interesting SmackDown night,
yes,
during a feud he was having, after, by the way, he was WWE champion as a babyface.
Was this before or after the John Cena promo?
This would have been after the John Cena stuff.
Okay.
So there was a beautiful to set up for Night of Champions pay-per-view match with Triple H.
Yep.
They had a second. A lot of people talk about the one with Raw.
Yeah.
But they had a second.
Well, the one with Raw had Johnny Ace there.
Yes.
So
the one on Raw was just Teddy in the background as they cut the promo.
On SmackDown, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
could you imagine being Teddy that night? How awkward that must have felt.
I love Teddy. He probably didn't care. He got paid either way.
That's true. That's true.
He's like, you let these white boys fight. I'm still making my money. I don't give a damn.
Teddy Long has always made a lot of money.
He about his money, and I've always liked Teddy Long.
Let the white boy fucks, and I was like, are you done? Now you're going one-on-one with the Undertaker.
With the Undertaker.
In a tag team match. Go ahead, Jesse.
We miss you, Teddy. So Paul said to him, first of all, you're full of crap. The only reason you want to do the Revolution and the only reason it matters to you is so you can be the star. Like that's and then he started to point out something that even to me as I was starting to turn away from WWE, that was truly obvious. He's like, there are people, by the way, here who still like the WWE. Now, I wasn't one of those fans completely, but I still had an affinity for it because it was my introduction into wrestling.
Once again, set the scene. They were in a sold-out major sports arena with people cheering when he said that.
Right.
So it's not like it was just a bunch of 50 CM Punk fans.
So, I mean, there was very little boos when he said it, and there was a lot of cheers. Like, there was a lot of fans there who actually really did like the WWE. And there's a lot of fans now who, even before Vince retired, liked it as it was. And that's fine. As I mentioned in our pre-production meeting, you know, Kat Dennings, the actress, Thor movies and then Two Broke Girls show.
Yep.
All of a sudden has all these AEW snarks in her damn Twitter because she talked about on SummerSlam, she's like, wow, I can't believe I actually love pro wrestling, but I've loved this show.
Well, Nashville was also a good place to have it because Nashville, if you look at Nashville in the last 10 years, they've gone from being just the country music city to they're now really one of those major U.S. cities that you have to come up with.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the thing.
It's still New York City, I'll give you that.
Here's the thing. It was just... then a lot of people pointed out, like, guys, first of all, no. Second of all, because then there was also some New Japan stands, and I'm like, guys, no. That's a whole nother world.
Yep.
Okay? Listen, I have a love and affinity for New Japan, but I
sometimes borderline obsession.
As I tell people, I'm a little sick in the head, and I like watching people get fucked up.
That's okay.
You've watched so much Minoru Suzuki. At this point, maybe you're being abused.
Like I tell people, I just love violence.
Yes, yes, you do.
And New Japan and All Japan, that is violent.
Yeah.
So.
Especially All Japan. Ooh.
You can't all of a sudden, because in the same tweet or in the same night also, these same stands and snarks. Also, there was the women's match that started off.
Yeah.
And I believe actor Chris Pratt was like, man, it's been a while since I watched wrestling, but this is great so far.
Well, and I mean, again, people have really been, especially with, I know we're on Punk, so I'm going to relay this back for a second. People have been talking a lot about who the most over person in wrestling is. That they've gone back with Punk. They've talked about Paige, Omega. No, it's Bianca Belair, end of conversation. But go ahead.
It's probably Roman Reigns more than anyone. But
well, yeah, but I mean, Bianca's over as hell either way.
Clara would totally disagree with you. It's Bianca. She dances like she loves it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I dislike Bianca. I'm just saying the numbers show you something.
I'm aware.
Well, yes.
But
especially when he still pulls in $2 million without the Usos because they can't get into Canada.
Well, see, and with that, talking about that
for reasons.
Well, yes.
For 6 different reasons.
Right.
There we go.
Separate reasons.
So what I was getting to with this is the fact that like Punk isn't a needle mover. He really never has been though.
No. Their ratings were fine without him back in the day.
They were growing, and then they kind of did. But you see, AEW always does this periodic thing where they can get over 1 million, and then it really dips again.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, that's the pro wrestling business right now as it is.
Yeah.
Like, Impact was consistently above 100,000.
And now they hit 92 this
They were
past week.
apparently it was only actually 87.
Oh, really? Okay.
So like it happens.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it was poor Impact that needs to just be on a major television network, but because they deserve it. They're booking and everything they're doing.
Well,
they deserve it.
I think right now is that the another sports season is starting to come in.
Yeah.
So that is going to affect.
Well, SmackDown's getting. Well, no. Here's
numbers,
the crazy part. SmackDown's still averaging 2 million, and they're not on the main Fox channel. That's what's crazy to me.
Well, up here, yeah.
Yeah.
For the last 2 weeks.
Well,
no. I'm about to say anywhere that had football going on had football on Fox.
Yeah. So in their second channel,
football's
they had
still
wrestling,
king,
so.
and no one's gonna question.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. He is marketable. He can make you a ton of profit. Is he worth $8 million? Some people will say yes. Some will say no. I'm on the fence about it.
Jesse would actually need hard numbers in front of him to really decide.
And
because the personality ain't worth $20.
Yeah. No.
And you're telling me you've been gone for 7 years, and a young kid. He's not a young kid, but Adam Page, young man, 27,
makes a simple comment in an interview.
Yep.
By the way, which is very PG compared to what Eddie Kingston and even Jon Moxley on the same night said to you.
Yeah.
And you're pissed off. Like, makes no sense. That's something you could have handled in the back. Instead of coming out, going into business for yourself, which is basically what he did.
Those commentators... Look, JR's been put in some rough situations, but that's mostly been because he doesn't know what to say to a lot of the indie-style matches that he's called. Well, and you know what? I don't even blame that on bad wrestling. Maybe that was because he called New Japan for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was probably an adjustment from what WWE was for him.
Well, and because New Japan, they're just like, call a wrestling match. Like,
yeah. You don't have to promote what happens next.
Right,
you don't have
right.
to talk about stories.
We're gonna
just call the match.
When the matches come up, just call them. That's how they work their shows.
So, but these commentators, they had no idea what was going on.
No.
Excalibur was silent. Tony seemed like he was just like, what the hell? And
JR tried to fill it with, do we even know if... See, JR's still the consummate professional.
Right.
He's worked with everyone in this business.
Right.
So he tried to do something.
Right.
To be like, okay, is this something that we're just shooting to a camera on the back? Is the music going to play? Okay, here's the thing.
Because he said, I don't even know if he's here tonight.
Yeah, the sound guy, especially in AEW, and the way they've done their shows, and Vince was bad at it towards the end. You and I have a theory that we'll talk about later in the show. But here's the deal. Folks, normally in this company, it's Christian Cage, boom, music. Normally it's interview, boom, interruption. They sat there for an awkward amount of time. No music, no interview, no one's on the screen.
Right.
Folks, you can sit there and say that we're just being worked like everybody else. Dave Meltzer's the one reporting it.
Yep.
At the end of the day, guys, ROH, WWE, now, it's who he is, but Jesse will finish in a second. When you watch this show
there's no leaders in that locker room since Cody left.
When you watch this show for 4 years and you know, because here's the deal, Jesse, this is why Zaz's Last Acts might be coming soon. When you realize that the format of this show has not changed in 4 years.
No,
when all of a sudden you have a moment where nothing's happening, I guarantee that the production truck is like, what the fuck is going on? Is anyone's script different than mine? Because I ain't got this in there.
Right.
And now, Jesse, you may continue with what happened.
So, by the way, what CM Punk also proved is what I think I just said. There's really no leaders since Cody Rhodes left.
No, there isn't.
Cody Rhodes was apparently was actually a leader. Can get
the one thing I will say about Rhodes to the Top in the early episodes before it got to be way more about them and whatever the hell it was, there was a lot of him talking to damn near everybody backstage, from Max to Julia Hart and Lee Moriarty, all these people, like, they were coming to him with personal stuff, professional.
Right.
He really was the guy who was embracing the executive vice president role. We'll talk about the other guys here in a little bit.
Unfortunately.
But before we get to that, Jesse, please continue. There's so much nuance to this fucking story.
And so
you,
instead of going out there and trying to bury this young kid, who was the former world champion you just beat, to have that title, instead of just talking to Hangman in the back and hashing that out there,
even if you did just sit there and in front of the man be like, hey, I got a little bitchy about your comment. I didn't like it. Like just be a man about it and just say, hey, that rubbed me the wrong way. Like, that's all I had to do.
Handle in the back, and then when you got there tonight, you could have still been pissed, but you just do the stuff with Moxley you were supposed to do.
Because here's why it's not a work. Where was Paige around Punk up until this moment, since the moment he lost the match?
He's been nowhere around him.
Nowhere. Yeah, Cody
silence from the AEW stands.
When Cody was there, he learned from his dad on how to take care of things because he
Dusty
saw
never
what
handled anything in the ring.
Yeah,
every story I've heard about Dusty is you handled that shit in the locker room.
Right.
Yeah, and that's where he learned.
Yeah.
So of course that's what he did. What it is, CM Punk didn't learn that. He should have, because you saw that in WWE. You saw that the Undertaker. You saw Triple H. They took care of shit backstage.
So now,
and when Triple H, I think, did that promo in the ring and looked at him and says,
well,
you know
but
what?
John Cena,
I stepped on everybody to get on top,
well,
and he's saying it's the truth.
Well, John Cena,
true.
the locker room leader that he was, said on Raw, you do what you do as long as it benefits you. You could have gone to Vince as the champion and said, give me a main event. Give me a main event. You're the one who let that pass by because you're the guy who needs ammo, who needs to wait. You need to let it fester. You need to grab real-life stuff and twist it, because at the end of the day, until Punk showed up, I had never looked back and thought about the times that the champion didn't close the show when there was a bigger program going on.
Right.
I just realized that the bigger program was in front. And by the way, a guy who is not being mentioned but was in your DVD when WWE printed that shit, Michael P.S. Hayes, said in that DVD, he probably gets it now, but there was some rivalries that were above the title at that point, which he probably knows now. So you made Michael P. Hayes look like a fucking idiot right there, and he had nothing to do with this.
Right.
Yeah.
People forget about that statement. Michael was sticking up for the guy.
Right.
He was trying to say, oh, he's grown, he gets it, and clearly you're the same friggin' toddler that you were back then.
Like I told people, when you get into business with CM Punk, you also deal with the Phillip Brooks issue.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, WWE made him into a megastar in pro wrestling. So now it's a
Which, by the way,
major
Vince
issue.
didn't want to do.
Vince wasn't the fan of it, and probably neither was Triple H, but Paul Heyman was right.
Yeah.
And it's just, how do you deal with a problematic guy? Because, by the way, it's not the first time he dealt with a problematic guy. Especially one who felt like he was a megastar for like 30 years past his prime. We're not going to talk about who I'm talking about, cough, cough, Hulk Hogan. But
I thought it was Terry Bollea.
It's both. But still, it's one of those things like guys, this is who he is. This is all he did on Wednesday was show his colors. That's all he did.
Now, before we get to
and by the way, the worst part is where WWE had leverage before he decided to walk out, which is why he walked out.
Took his ball and went home.
Tony Khan has no leverage. He keeps giving it away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is what happens when you try to please your talent all the
time. Somebody put up, too, it was Cleveland where he walked out on WWE, and he almost did it again in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Now,
it's just it's fucked up.
Now, Jesse, before we get to the second half of this opening segment,
sure,
you're 50-50 that it's a work that they're having the world title match this Wednesday, and all of a sudden MJF's just going to walk out, and then it's MJF versus Punk at the pay-per-view. You're half and half on that.
I'll say 60-40 that it's more they're just going to put the belt on Mox and let Punk go home for a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah.
You want to know why I kind of agree, Leroy? Because if there's one thing we know about Phillip Brooks, when he walked out of WWE with the belt after the end of Money in the Bank, his contract expired. So there was no more money coming in. Tony Khan still has to pay him. So even if they send him home...
Actually, I got to correct you. So for those who don't know, he actually... at that point
he
before...
He signed a No.
He had signed a new deal.
No. He said himself in the DVD he had signed a 3-day extension just for the pay-per-view. He was not signed at midnight.
Well, some people had reported, like, actually before the match went out there, he had signed his deal, and that's why they let him go home, let him go on and do what he did.
He said himself in that DVD, he went home and threw the belt in his fridge, and he had no contract. He said it. Phillip Brooks said that in the DVD. I'll never forget that statement. So he was actually without a contract.
I'm half and half on believing him, though.
Well, I get that.
Because a lot of reporters were like, no, because there's no way in hell Vince allows him to show up to, like, Comic-Con then with the title and talk with Triple H like that.
But now that we go back to the second half of this promo, now he calls out the interim world champion, Jon Moxley, and now it gets really awkward. Now it gets, oh boy, these two got some issues, and they are going to air them in the middle of this ring. And David Zaslav's going to be asking Tony Khan, what the fuck are these two idiots doing airing their dirty laundry on my programming? Because Jesse said it, folks. It's a big axe, and it's swinging real quick.
It swings with the might of Jason.
and it's very unfortunate that if that's going to happen, but
how much truth?
It's looking like it. It's looking like WCW back in the day.
How much?
Bischoff is saying it.
How much
there's
truth?
There's no control.
No. How much truth do you think was there in the Jon Moxley promo? Because by the way, don't get me wrong.
Hold back.
Don't get me wrong. I agree. Jon Moxley is the third best guy in the BCC. But you're taking into account the American Dragon, who put on a banger of a match with Daniel Garcia.
Yes, he did.
Oh yeah.
So my service sucks till Wednesday. Can someone get the results of Dynamite up for when we're done with this? Cause
your service sucks.
I have no high speed data. My brother used it all on a trip. There's nothing I can do about it.
You suck.
But anyway, but before we get there, and honestly, nothing against Punk, but I think it's an age thing. I think Claudio's clearly head and shoulders above CM Punk.
Well, yeah.
Without even question.
But to be fair to, I can't believe I'm going to say this. To be fair to Punk, he's also still been wrestling these last 7 years.
Right. And I think that Punk is only better than Yuta in the sense of Yuta still is learning the nuances of things.
Correct.
But I get where he, and by the way, nothing against John. He was not better than Seth. And Roman was obviously more of a blue chip prospect.
No, he's not. He's not better than Seth in ring. Like I tell people, Seth is actually still underrated in the ring.
Seth recently came out and said he's working a safer style because of Rue, his daughter.
Well, sure.
But he's still the most athletic guy, arguably, in that company.
He's probably still the best pro wrestler in the company. Here's the thing. So of course he then starts to call out Mox. Mox starts, by the way, slowly saunters to the ring. By the way, here's the thing.
Kevin Nash got to the ring faster when he powerbombed Punk.
Roman walks apparently faster than Mox at this point to the ring.
CM Punk started doing snow angels. That's how long it took.
Here's the thing.
How disrespectful, by the way.
Here's the thing for Mox, though.
Just go to AEW.com.
I know, I found it.
Just walk down the damn aisle.
Yeah, no, it's starting to hurt.
I went to Bleacher Report.
Well, to be fair, we don't know what the contract is for that, Major League movie cut. They may have to play a certain amount in order to fulfill their obligation. We're working on business deals now, Jesse. We know there's certain give and takes here. We don't know what Tony's paying or how much of the song he has to play.
That's not good enough. It's not good enough. So he starts to slowly saunter. Of course, Phillip just being disrespectful. Phillip doing the snowman.
And by the way,
an
underrated moment that was disrespectful, doing the snow angel while still holding the belt.
Yeah.
Y'all got mad at Naito, but Naito was at least being in character when he was kicking the belt around.
See, here's the thing. I'm about to say Naito's in character when he's disrespecting the belt. He's supposed to be the guy that doesn't actually care.
When he was backstage before the music hit, he probably was holding that thing very respectfully.
Right.
And then the second
New Japan knows that's his character. It looks like he doesn't respect the title, but clearly he does.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. He starts coming out. CM Punk started to say something while the music was playing. I didn't catch it. Some people in Cleveland actually caught it on their phones, but I didn't catch it.
Oh, that was the moment where he actually said, and I quote, "Oh, this is going to take forever. I might as well start doing snow angels." He actually said that.
So, John finally gets in the ring. The kind of juxtapose of one of the first things John said was first of all the fact that I am still called interim champion while you are here. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
They have some lovely quotes from there, going back and
Go ahead,
Leroy. Oh, see, let's see here.
I watched Dynamite, but I can't remember the full promo.
Well, it's like his best friend is the third best Eddie ever seen in the ring, but his second best skate. We talked about that.
Yep.
Not even the first John I've beaten in Chicago for a championship belt. Definitely not number one there.
WWE
Love that
reference, by the way.
All of them, almost all of them were.
Yep.
And then Moxley, go look out, ladies and gentlemen. CM Punk's dropping pipe bombs. WWE. Another reference. And then Moxley, I love how he says this too. Is you think you're the best wrestler in the world. Most of the time, you're not even the best in catering.
What I would have said,
that was a good one.
The better line would have been, "You're not the best in your own household." That would have been the better line.
Well, overall, no.
And then his response to that is, "You can be the heart and soul. I'll be the dollar and cents."
Which basically shows
I
I'm here for the
understand.
money, fuck the rest of y'all. Because this whole company wasn't built on dollar and cents, whether or not you believe the billionaire. It was built on a bunch
It was
of guys.
built on the revolution.
Uh-huh.
We'll get to
you
that
know
later.
you know what Punk,
The revolution was in the main event for once.
You know what Mox's response to that was?
You ran out of money?
No, we both know that you ran out of fighting spirit a long time ago.
Right.
He ran out of it the second he walked out on. By the way, it's underrated. Who did he walk out on in WWE?
John.
No.
Everybody.
He walked out on Claudio.
Yeah.
He was supposed to put
yeah.
over Claudio for Elimination Chamber qualifier. Because
And he wouldn't
remember,
do it, yeah.
Steve walked out on Brock. They've hashed that out. They're over
Right,
it.
they're good.
Brock realizes that Steve was doing the right thing for. And by the way, if anyone knows doing the right thing for a higher number of money, it's Brock Lesnar.
Right.
I love you, Brock. You're here for the money, and I'm okay with it. But no, he walked out on Claudio. That's the part people don't realize. He walked out on the new big ROH champ.
Right.
And no one wants to seem to talk about that.
Mm-hmm. And towards the end, this is the last thing Punk said to Mox, which we make reference to it too.
Yep.
Is like, if I touch you now, I'm afraid you're going to bleed all over me.
Which is basically just taking a Jim Cornette line
Taking
and throwing it at everyone's face.
taking a stab at him.
Yeah.
I mean,
John does that enough.
oh, I know.
He bleeds less in GCW.
Which is crazy.
And
in GCW,
Bleacher
he bleeds less.
Bleacher Report gives it an A+ for the opening.
I don't blame them because it was compelling television, but it wasn't a good wrestling segment.
I mean, it was really compelling
It
television.
was compelling television, but it wasn't a good wrestling segment.
You got a needle moving
Before
on
we
that.
move on
so.
with the Dynamite results, we're going to finish up here. Jesse, do you think he actually walks out?
Like I said, I'm 60-40. What happens next week is that Moxley beats him. He's the one champion. Maybe that means MJF comes back, gets his title shot, loses to Mox again, and then one of them isn't coming back to the company after that. I'm just letting you guys know that now.
Oh, and by the way,
CM Punk. Are you talking about CM Punk and MJF or what?
Well, I think it'll end up being MJF and Mox at the pay-per-view.
Okay.
And I know people are like, well, why wouldn't they have Punk in Chicago? I wouldn't trust him to show up at this point.
Not even in Chicago. He's such a selfish prick. And yeah, Phil, if you ever hear this and you ever see me in real life, I'll say it to your goddamn face because I gain or lose nothing from saying it.
I have.
Oh, yeah. No,
I did an ROH a long time ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
We know Jesse's going to sell it out.
Oh, yeah.
Jesse's got no problem.
I have no problem with a wrestler hitting me in the face, but I'm going to get out what I got to get out.
Did you clip that thing for Jericho yet?
Almost. So that clip is going to be up on our YouTube of us doing the song for Jericho and all that good stuff.
No. Last week you wanted to clip the part where you basically just said, and I quote, pause, Jericho can't fucking go anymore.
And I'm working on that one, too.
And we're working on the song.
Because
we
before I
put it there, we should put it on our Patreon.
Well, before I put it on it's going to go on Patreon first.
Yeah, I got to put that
but
first.
before that one goes on YouTube, it's going directly to him for his podcast.
Yeah.
There you go. He's going to love us.
To finish up, folks, the guy walked out on ROH. He signed his WWE contract on the ROH title.
Yeah, he did.
Even though, didn't Cole do that or something? Cole did something similar to it.
Both were still in character when they did it.
Yeah.
But with CM Punk, it was still, that's where the quote unquote falling out between him and Cole apparently started.
Oh yeah. By the way, folks, here's the other report that I can't believe I'm saying. Colt Cabana is apparently one of the top reasons that CM Punk is angry with AEW.
Makes no sense.
A guy who has done nothing for anyone but the Dark Order, a guy who was removed from the Dark Order because apparently CM Punk didn't want him in the company, but everyone in the back stood up for Colt because we've seen Colt. Colt's a good dude. We talked to Colt.
He was
great to
awesome,
us.
man.
Colt Cabana. We have a picture with Colt Cabana. I love Colt.
Colt's
now,
an awesome guy.
Colt Cabana is comedy wrestler patient zero according to Jim Cornette. He's not going to like Colt. That's fine. We're not here to talk about that. Colt Cabana does his job well.
Yeah.
Colt Cabana is 2.0 actually just re-signed.
Old Jim Cornette, the curmudgeon. Yeah, because He was working. Colt was working under him before he took over booking.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, just like the two guys from the Jericho Appreciation Society 2.0 who re-signed, they do the comedy shtick well. They know they do it well, and they re-sign for money.
Well, then Colt's just an excellent storyteller of pro wrestling. So
yeah.
I've never gotten any Colt hate because I just like the
his
guy.
His fundamentals are actually very good too. He wrestles great.
He's phenomenal.
But the thing about it is that Colt Cabana was stuck up for by a majority of the locker room. And Tony, even though you're paying CM Punk a lot, you don't need half your locker room just walking out because so what does Tony do? The ballless, feckless, hairless piece of shit that Tony Khan is. And yeah, Tony, I said it. Get over it. He signs him to ROH and solely puts him in that project so he's no longer in AEW. Because he doesn't have the balls to look either Colt in the face and say, I got to let you go, because he hasn't told that to anybody.
Right.
And he also doesn't have the balls to look at CM Punk, the guy he's paying, and just look at him and be like, no, Colt's staying because everyone likes him and he's a helpful guy. He can't fire anyone, and he can't stand up to anyone.
But he owns a pro wrestling company.
But he owns a pro wrestling company, so he's in the perfect line of work.
Like I said, this is why when he had that meeting with Jim over a year and a half ago,
he should have just offered him.
He should have just fucking offered him a job.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, no, you're right. I can't control these guys.
Yeah.
And because at least then, even if Jim wouldn't have always liked his booking decisions,
yeah,
you wouldn't hear shit like this because there would be control in the locker room.
By the way, when did AEW's behind-the-scenes cracks start to happen? It was the day CM Punk signed that deal. Because all of a sudden, we started hearing stories, and because they'd gone a whole year and a half with no bad things in the locker room, all the reports couldn't have possibly been true. Could they, gentlemen? There's no way in wrestling that there's any realness to a story that's on a dirt sheet.
Right.
Look, some dirt sheets are just like the fucking Inquirer. They'll make shit up on the fly.
Right.
But most of them have something.
Right.
That's why they're called the dirt sheets.
Yes.
This guy is toxic. He is out for himself. And by the way, this is the weird part for our fans. I don't care. Get your money, bro. It's fine.
Yeah.
But at least admit that you're in it for the money. That's why Jesse has never had a bad word with Kevin Nash. Why, Jesse?
Because he was honest. He was there for a paycheck. I always respected that.
I sell the things you need to be. I'm the smiling face on your TV. CM Punk lives this fucking song, and I have the whole lyric sheet printed out.
Yes, I know. Oh, yeah.
And by the way, Live in Color, we love you guys. Here's a free plug.
It's a great...
Pick up everything they've ever written. They're great.
Well, they're a great band.
Yeah.
I love that song, and a lot of
When a
them
mirror
stuff they do.
speaks, the reflection lies. The mirror image is CM Punk, and it lies right to your face because it's a guy trying to tell you, I'm here for change. Here's the thing. I don't deny that it's for change. That's the reflection. But the truth is...
It's coins, baby.
It has to be for you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be the guy.
No, he's there for change, all right.
If the whole...
His own change.
Yeah, that's right.
If the whole roster...
That change goes ching-ching.
Yeah. And it's not Okada's music.
That's right.
There we go.
If CM Punk change... Okay, let's say, we have what if... So we have the the WFF coming up later in the show. Let's just go to this. Here's a random what if. That's just kind of a mini one. Let's say CM Punk does in WWE get all the change he wants. Let's say Vladimir Kozlov comes back. Chris Masters never becomes Chris Adonis. They all come back. If he's not given the world title, he's still bitching.
Oh, for sure.
He's still crying.
Oh, yeah.
He's still walking out of Cleveland.
Yeah, no way around that.
You know what? I'm glad that the match didn't happen at WrestleMania because then Triple H would have 14 losses at WrestleMania, and he didn't have a 14th loss to this douchebag. So,
yes,
Jesse,
it is crazy he has lost the most WrestleMania matches.
So, Jesse, how long until...
Doesn't feel like it.
How long until this finally becomes a point of contention that Tony has to address? Over to you.
To be honest, he seemed to address the same night. Like I said, when they announced they're doing that unification match this Wednesday.
So you think it's him just trying to get it out?
I think he's just like, there's no chance in hell I can let this go on into All Out. Because if Punk continues, that means Mox is going to get worse.
Yeah.
And that's two guys you've given away your leverage to.
$14 million apiece, basically.
$14 million for two guys.
You got to look at it the way he's acting now.
And Moxie's the more likable one.
Come Chicago when you want to have this match. All of a sudden, CM Punk says, "Fuck that, I'm not coming."
Oh, wait, hold on a sec. Leroy just mentioned something. Where's the pay-per-view? Where is Dynamite? And where is Rampage all going to be?
Chicago.
Okay, quick question.
He gets a
quick
screw
question.
it and not coming.
What did WWE have to deal with shortly after Punk walked out, wherever they went? What happened to their crowds? What was the chant that everybody heard?
CM Punk
night?
chants all the time.
If he's not promoted for those shows, they actually will riot because Chicago, I love you. I grew up on Michael. Your sports teams have places in our hearts.
Yes.
The Cubs were the biggest lovable loser in the history of sports. Fuck the White Sox. They're a boring bunch of idiots. I don't care.
Bears kind of suck.
Bears are awful.
Yeah, just 1 year.
That's the guy you're hitching your wagon to. DeMar DeRozan comes in when he could have signed with the LA Lakers, Miami Heat, could have lived in luxury. He goes to fucking Chicago in the middle of the winter.
Right.
And that's the guy who is your guy.
Right.
That's the guy.
Right.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Good luck getting anything in on a microphone when they're chanting CM Punk like crazy. He may have to pay him $14 million just to make one appearance to shut up the crowd.
I said, well, here's the problem: is everyone's going to end up heel that night because there's going to be ways to shut it down that you ain't going to get cheered the rest of the night after you do it.
You know what was funny? The Izod Center the night after WrestleMania was fun. They were into it. They were into themselves. Sure. It was the wrestlers seemed to have had a good time.
Right.
This is going to be that, but it's going to be like the opposite. Everyone's heel. There's going to be boos.
Right.
Good luck getting 3 shows done.
So are we going to have like a big show, like 7 heel turns in one show?
No.
In matter of all 4 of them?
Leroy,
don't give them the idea.
It might happen.
He already has that idea. Leroy, all it's going to be is every single guy is going to get booed because they're not the guy that they want to see. That's what Jesse's saying. They're not going to do a bunch of swerves. They're going to do one night of show.
It'll be the wrestlers going like, you guys are cheering for a guy who walked out on you. You're chanting the guy's name who walked out on you.
And it's going to be the 3rd time. First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on us. 3rd time, I don't even know because the statement doesn't go that far. I've never known a guy to get 3 chances like this.
Right.
Oh,
you
my God. All right.
You don't.
Regrettably, and by the way, folks, CM Punk, Needle Mover, they went down in the ratings this week, but we got to get to the rest of the show. So, Leroy, what else happened on this abomination of a show?
All right. Well, after all that crap, we had a lovely match between Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson.
Oh, this was amazing.
If
you'd opened the show,
you did call the
with
show an
this,
abomination a second ago, but yeah, this was. I
forgot where
match.
they put it in the. No, Jesse. Overall, the show sucked, but they have 1 or 2 good things.
I thought there was like 2 or 3 good things on the show,
but
and it was a.
It was so sad. This went on after the abomination that was Punk and Moxley,
and it was set up 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh, this was so good.
It was really good.
Daniel Garcia praised it afterwards. He said Daniel Garcia said it best. If I inspired one person to do this with that match, and Daniel, you might have inspired more than one person to do it after that match.
It was incredible.
I said they did
Holy crap.
Did traditional, one got a pin, the other one got a pin, so it was tied up, and then boom,
Garcia passed out.
Yeah.
Get a label lock for a submission, and Daniel won the
my only problem was that they did it because of the premiere of House of Dragon. Like, it was a stunt, but I would have hoped they would have held this off till the pay-per-view, and here's why. You just had Bryan passing out in the middle of the ring, and now he's perfectly fine choking out the guy.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense from a booking perspective.
Some of it booking wise didn't make sense, but I would still overall give this a 4.5 out of 5. I mean, this was phenomenal stuff.
Oh, this was Jesse.
They gave it a B+.
Yeah. Bleacher Report. What are you doing? No, Jesse. This was better than half of the 5-star matches that Dave's given out in the last 10 years.
Well,
they said in
mostly because they're all Bucks matches.
They say we give it a B+ because of the commercial breaks. It messed up the flow of the match.
Yeah, I get it.
And that does happen.
But I mean, come on, guys. I mean, we all know it's still a show where advertising has to get sold. We know that. And if there's one guy that's going to walk in, that guy has an axe too, who's going to tell you, make sure you get the money part in, it's David Zaslav. Like, it is what it is.
But I still, overall, I mean, the physicality, the fact that, Daniel, without cheating, kind of got the upper hand a couple times on.
Daniel Garcia can go. He looks like a bland wrestler, but he can go.
Like I said, he could be our generation's Chris Benoit, hopefully without the tragedy.
Right.
Because he's a special in-ring performer.
Yeah. All right. What was up next?
Yeah, it was a good match. They're possibly doing a babyface heel. Babyface.
Yeah. So after the match,
with him.
Jericho did try to come in and beat up Bryan. Daniel stopped it. Was kind of torn between the two.
Are we finally getting Daniel Garcia in the BCC, do you think?
I think there's a good chance.
It's a good possibility, yeah. That's what they're hitting for.
Now, Claudio was the one we didn't know about, so that'd be the extra guy.
Right.
But finally getting Mox, Yuta, Bryan, and Garcia, Jesse will be like, I'll watch BCC all day.
They turned Lee Moriarty heel, so I don't know if they'll get Lee Moriarty at
That's
any
true.
point.
That's true. He wanted Lee as well.
Yeah.
But Yuta's a decent...
Yuta's awesome, and then having Garcia, one, gives us all our wish of getting him away from Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
But two, puts him in a group that fits his actual style a lot better.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And then having him around.
Because I remember the day that we talked about Terminus 1, you were talking that morning like, Daniel Garcia's got my eyes wide open now.
Because I was just like, this, it helps to be in the ring with a technician like Jonathan Gresham, but I'm just like, this kid is special in the ring.
Well, but Daniel was in the Fatal 4-Way.
Right, but it just the one-on-one match is what struck me because I was just like, he's holding his own against literally one of the absolute best technical wrestlers on the planet.
Right, exactly. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Then we end up, and then of course we had a lovely thing where Moxley called out Punk again. Another pull-apart session endured there.
The only issue I had with this was obviously the fact that, folks, Austin Theory was there. We all saw, we all saw the video footage.
Oh yeah.
No, that was that?
First of all, that
was his other brother.
That's not Theory. That's Thesis. Let's be clear.
His other brother.
That's right. That's his brother.
Yes.
Cousins with Elrod.
That's right. That's right. I don't know who that kid was, but he really did look like a little brother of Austin Theory.
No, you want to know the funny part is? I don't know if you saw this picture. Somebody found a character from House of Dragon that looked exactly like that.
Right.
Oh my God.
So that was the funny part, was that wow, they're really going in on this whole promotional thing. But anyway, no, the only issue I had with this was, we're doing it again because clearly it was an awkward moment. Normally wrestling promoters want to get away from that as fast as possible. But number two, did you see Claudio literally manhandle John Moxley like a small child?
I told people, dude. I mean, listen,
Leroy. It didn't take security to stop John Moxley. All it took was Claudio.
This is the one thing I will always give Corey Graves.
Claudio's a big guy.
He has always been right about this with Claudio. He might be pound for pound the strongest guy in pro wrestling.
Leroy, go find the video, and I'm serious because it was understated live. But let me explain something to you folks. If you watch that over and over, Claudio moved John Moxley like John Moxley weighed 12 pounds. It was like a small child in his hands. He said it was not a good look.
Well, because then he didn't even need the security; he did it himself.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Claudio did it by himself.
So
and going with the theme of the night there, House of Dragon.
Yeah,
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat came out and confronted Jericho, saying, "Hey, maybe Garcia is better to be with Danielson, not with you."
Ricky, Triple H is in charge. Do you really need the money that you went to this guy?
Let's pause for a second.
Okay.
Let's just pause for a second. I don't think this has anything to do with Ricky taking the money and any of that.
No, that's fair.
I actually think this was a favor for Jericho.
That's true.
Here's my question to Jericho. Why do you keep needing to living off your past? I thought you were a wizard, man.
Well, that's why he's doing it. Wizard.
The omnibus of Jesse versus Jericho might be one of the greatest things we ever do.
So you had to tell them to pay Ricky to come do this so you can kind of tell the story of Daniel getting away from you, because you and Ricky did a story almost 10 years ago in WWE? What the hell is this? You guys are referencing something that literally happened in 2012.
Are you aware?
I was younger then. I remember 2012.
Yeah.
Ladies
and gentlemen, Chris Jericho, maybe even more than Punk, maybe even more than Danielson, clearly even more than the Bucks, he's getting to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Right.
Pardon my French, but he's getting to do anything the fuck he wants.
Jericho, this is your life, and he's doing it himself.
He's been doing it for 4 years.
Well, yeah, but it's a long segment.
This is your life. This is way worse than Bayley's. She's off the hook.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever they did to her, she's now off the hook because this is terrible.
This is just awful.
Yes. All right. And after all that, we had the Gun Club squashed the Varsity Blonde in seconds. And then they had a confrontation, the Gun with their dad.
They beat up Daddy ass.
Beat up Dad. And then the Acclaim comes out to save. Billy, what's going on out there?
Scissor me, Daddy ass.
Oh, my Lord.
I can't believe that's the thing now.
Yeah, Zaslav's going to love when that line gets repeated every
You know what?
week.
Here's the thing. It's on TBS. No one cares.
That's true. TBS, no one cares.
No one cares.
Yeah, no.
TBS, no one gives a shit. Absolutely no one cares.
It's American Dad and then a bunch of reruns of The Big Bang Theory. That's literally all it is. But anyway.
Right.
But no, Jesse, and a bunch of really bad one-off shows that apparently get one season and they're all cut. They tried to keep Conan on that network as many times as they could. It was so sad. But anyway, no, Jesse, what I have a problem with is not this, because sadly this is actually long-term storytelling working out. They're already having a match, Billy versus Colton Gunn, this week.
Yeah, so was it announced for Dynamite or a Rampage?
I'm pretty sure it's on Dynamite.
I'm confused.
But my question is, and by the way, I commented this, and people tried to out-comment me, but then they all deleted their comments. I didn't, but they did. So apparently they misread what I was saying. Was like, so no build-up, no explanation as to why they did it, no 2-week them versus the Acclaim thing, no Dad has to choose sides thing. Immediately into the match.
It would have been better.
And when I commented that, Jesse, somebody commented, and then that comment somehow mysteriously disappeared. Maybe it was the wizard powers of Jericho.
Hey, maybe the wizard didn't like your comment.
But Jared,
and he threw a fireball at it.
No. It wasn't my comment. It was the guy who was like, "Ha, then clearly you haven't been watching Dynamite to know why this is happening." I'm like, it's been 3 weeks, you fucking idiot.
We watch it. We do it all the time.
I know I do.
It doesn't even matter if we watch it. It's been 3 weeks this story's been going.
Right.
It was the one accident at Blood and Guts, because you can't say War Games. Then it was the dumpster match, which was done in reverse.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I'm still surprised they lived, for crying out loud.
Well, I thought he got his leg broken because
straight up.
When,
oh yeah.
When the dumpster landed, it looked like it crushed a part of his leg. So the fact that he was still walking, I was like, well, that's a miracle.
And then out of nowhere, after a victory, after Dad being proud of you, clearly chose you over the Acclaimed, you beat him up? Where was the Gun Club betrayal before this that Billy was a part of?
So if someone told me, apparently, because I haven't been watching Dark Elevation as much.
Oh,
recently,
come on. I have to go to YouTube for this shit?
But apparently that's where it happened.
Oh, what?
I'm like, guys, what are you guys doing with Stokely that you have to do all this? And you don't reference it on TV.
No. Pause. That's the thing now on our show. Pause. It wasn't even they didn't reference it. The commentators on Dynamite were, why is Stokely there?
Yeah.
One of the two of the commentators too dark.
But you know what I have to say about this? Why are two men talking about scissoring?
Because one of them is gay.
Yeah.
And everyone has always assumed Billy was gay, even though he wasn't.
I know.
Because of the ass man persona.
But if
Billy was just really good at his job.
If you're talking about scissoring, I would rather talk about two women.
And
but that's me.
Two dudes can't technically scissor; they paperclip.
We're not having this conversation.
Let's see, paper. Yeah, I'm more of a I would think it'd be more of a paperclip. Yeah.
This is getting clipped out. Anyway.
Oh no, it's staying.
We don't
in.
edit anything out.
We don't edit shit.
But Jesse, what was this?
I have no
Without
answers.
watching again and again. I know.
So when they originally squashed the boys there, I literally was like, you know what, this could be a good thing.
Oh, by the way,
they're heels. They squash these guys who they don't care about.
Oh, by the way, one of them is Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, don't have any hope for him in AEW.
No, there's no hope in
No.
AEW.
Wait for his contract to expire. He'll probably go to WWE.
Bring him home.
Hunter will push him to the moon.
Right.
On the name alone.
Right.
They'll sell so many Junior T-shirts.
Right.
You have no idea.
Brian Pillman Jr. just lived through it for another year.
Brian, your name alone will get you $2 million, kid.
Because like you said, he doesn't have the balls to just cut you.
Yep.
No.
Here's
you don't
the thing.
have any balls.
So the squash match happened. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was like, cool. They got this quick, clean win over these guys they don't care about.
Yep.
And then it looked like, they're bringing Daddy Ass back because they keep calling him Daddy Ass on television.
That's because That's because even they thought Jim Cornette's joke was too much fun. But here's the deal: Jim did it first, then Danhausen did it, and then they are all thinking it's a Danhausen joke, which it's not.
No.
But hey, Dan's a genius,
and everyone loves Danhausen. Danhausen's great.
Even Jim Cornette doesn't hate Danhausen.
Yeah, Danhausen's great.
You know, for all this mess we just talked about. All right, here's the grades for this. This is fun.
Oh God, what did they grade this?
Oh my God, no, they give 3 grades.
They gave what?
They give 3. All right.
Okay.
Okay, an A for the Moxley Punk Brawl.
Okay.
A B for the Steamboat moment.
That was a B?
That was a B.
Wait, they gave the second brawl an A?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a
I rolled my eyes loudly.
A C minus.
You might have heard that.
A C minus for the match, the squash match, and the aftermath.
But you gave an A to the second brawl.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
Was really Tony Khan's way of saying, no, we're doing this next week.
Yeah.
And I have to try to make it into a story.
When I saw that, I was like, what? Oh, my
This is
Lord.
why, well, first of all, they tried to charge me the last time. That's why I stopped. But I also stopped because Bleacher Report has no goddamn idea what they're doing with these ratings.
He's like, see, they try to charge me, and fuck that, I'm done with you.
It's fun. Next up after this, we have the Jungle Boy Christian Cage feud where Jungle Boy challenges.
Well, I think Zach just killed any type of relationship we'll ever have with Bleacher Report.
Killed that last week.
You just murdered it.
Yep.
You put it on life support. I was going to try to resuscitate it. Now it's dead. Here's the thing.
They charge me for results on a cable television show. Screw you guys.
So.
And Jungle Boy beat him up.
That's what you call this?
I actually love the end of this.
They said Jungle Boy beat the life out of his former WWE Impact World Champion repeatedly.
I actually love the end of this.
Yeah.
His promo got better at the end before Christian came out.
Yeah.
But he's clearly still uncomfortable on the mic.
Yeah.
You guys got to help him. That's number one. Number two, I'll give him credit because this is why you can't tell me AEW stands aren't assholes and don't like WWE. They started whatting him.
Yep.
Duh. They do it all the time.
So let me be clear, guys. That means the AEW crowd in Cleveland wasn't a purely AEW crowd. They were just wrestling fans.
No.
Because they were literally whatting Jungle Boy after cheering him when he came out. Now, he handled it well because he decided to stare at them, which was kind of a heel move, but it did make it stop.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I love the end because Christian comes out. He's a professional. He's been doing this for 20 years. He gets this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He comes out. He's like, listen, man, I don't want to fight. Like, this is the you I wanted to see. Like, we're family. This is the you I wanted to see. Trying to manipulate him.
Yeah.
Now, him doing the double ledge takedown was the one thing I was kind of against, but I still liked it. I'm like, because Christian was basically arms open. I'm like, oh, he's going to give him a dick shot.
Yeah. The other issue I have is that with that takedown, especially if Christian doesn't know it's coming, it's hard to protect the back of your head, which is Christian's kind of Achilles heel right now.
But luckily, Jungle Boy is so small, he's only going to land on his back when Jungle Boy does
Which is fair.
But the brawl was really, really good.
Yeah.
Christian got a little dirty, did a little blow him, didn't matter. Jungle Boy got on top again, and then, by the way, did a really good job of covering his head as he's, like, bashing his skull into the
ring
the steps. But I loved it. I'm like, well, in ring, right now what they're doing with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus is great stuff. But maybe they still need a manager to talk for them because Jungle Boy struggles through this, and unfortunately the other's a dinosaur. Yeah. He's not supposed to talk.
Well, no, they've had him talk, but you're not going to get Jungle Boy over by talking by a guy who's just going to start every promo with, I'm as old as Leroy.
Well, Luchasaurus.
No, I'm older than him, you say.
Luchasaurus, they've kind of turned into a Kane hybrid, and the best thing about Kane before he took off the mask was he wasn't a talker. Now, he was better when he was the psychopathic Kane without the mask.
Yeah.
Because then we got to see Glenn Jacobs' actual promo skills, which were great.
Yeah.
Because he made you feel uncomfortable, but the character was supposed to.
He was Joe Gacy before Joe Gacy.
He really was Joe Gacy before Joe Gacy. But
and Jason, he's creepier.
He set poor JR on fire.
Yep.
One of the worst. This is one of the funniest edits I've ever seen on a live show. Oh my God!
It actually was.
It was because I was just like, guys, I know he's not actually Bernie, but that's terrible. But yeah, I actually really, really love this segment.
They did pit as they did state there was one of the best storylines of AEW in the last past few months, and it doesn't appear it will change anytime soon.
Yep.
They gave it a B+ for their grade for
That's
that
the
moment.
only one I actually agree with right now. It was pretty good. I liked it.
I had it at a C, but I'm gonna be honest with Jesse. I can't get over because it's been so long how bad this kid is on the mic.
It's not good.
It's not good, Jesse.
I thought because they always seem to reel into real life relationships instead of putting Anna Jay with the JAS, I thought they might let her stay as a babyface and be with, because I mean you got.
Well, someone's got to choke out every single member of the AEW backstage crew.
Yeah,
but you got, and she's great at it. Yeah. You got Marco Stunt out of there.
Yeah, thank God.
I thought
I couldn't tell. He was so short. I missed him so many times.
You guys are the worst. I personally love Marco Stunt because I've seen him in so many indie promotions, but I'm like,
well, you're the one that said him and his brother are toxic because of the shit they started pulling.
That was. By the way, that's mostly in Wisconsin too. But yeah, that shit is never okay, and they should have apologized for it. Marco did apparently. Okay. I didn't know about it, but his brother didn't, so fuck him.
Okay.
But yeah, but I thought bringing Anna Jay into now this trio would be good because you still protect Luchasaurus, even though he's a good talker, but you protect him from actually having to speak.
Yeah.
And then you protect Jungle Boy, who's not a good speaker.
No.
And I thought Anna Jay could be that perfect bridge. Plus, you got a woman in there, so she ever becomes women's champion. You can do a fun story with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got to improve his promos because he gets too nervous. Like when he started the mic was about this far. For guys who don't know, I moved the mic away from me, but it was really far from him.
Yeah.
And you can't. You're on live television. You got to do better.
Yeah.
But I still love Jack Perry. He's got a lot of potential.
Oh no, Jesse!
I love the
Jesse,
kid.
my quote always is: when he's in ring, he sells like a 12-year vet.
Right. I think his in ring stuff is really, really good. Get them a manager.
Yeah.
After this story that works for them.
Yeah.
And then keep working with him on his promos because I think in ring he's the total package.
When he gets to the building, I literally, if I was actually running a
ladies love him.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to bring a female fan base like Kat Dennings back to wrestling, you need guys like Jungle Jack Perry.
Here's the thing. If I were running a successful wrestling company, Tony's not. I would.
No comment.
I would say from the moment he gets to the arena, I would literally put him in a room with William Regal for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I would. I just straight up, William, let the kid talk.
Right.
Talk to him.
Right.
Tell him what you do differently.
Right.
Give him notes.
Right.
Like Jungle Boy, Jack.
Right.
Here is a notebook. And here is this.
Right.
Now, I will say this. If Jungle Boy has some stuff he needs to talk about, we have a sponsor on the show that maybe he could use.
That's true.
And we would also like to quickly make sure everyone remembers, because we have had one person use it, and we are very, very happy at this show that they were able to use it.
Absolutely.
And I hope that it leads to success to whoever this person
Absolutely.
is. And but to those of you that don't realize, we do have a sponsorship with BetterHelp.com, and here it is right here.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Have you ever felt depressed, stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed? Well, BetterHelp is here to help you. I, in my life, guys, have dealt with mental depression and a variety of mental health issues and have had to use therapy to overcome them. Well, BetterHelp is a great program here to help you.
BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and help you in a private, online environment at your convenience.
There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000-plus therapist network that gives you access to the help that may not be available in your area. All you got to do is fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and then you get a matched therapist within 48 hours.
Then you can schedule your secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. You can also request a new therapist at no additional charge at any time.
Join the 2 million-plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist.
Special offer to 13 cards subject to change listeners. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/13 cards. That's better, HELP.com/13 cards.
Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast.
So anyway, Jesse, now that we're moving on here, let's get to the rest of the show because we have one more AEW topic to talk about before we leave out, and it's our WFF, but we got to finish up with Dynamite here. So go ahead, Leroy.
Yep. After that, there was a backstage where Wardlow and Ring of Honor, Wardlow and FTR challenged Jay Lethal, Singh, and Sanjay Dutt to a 6-man tag.
It was funny because they called themselves
The Pinnacle.
The Pinnacle.
They did.
Which, again, doesn't make any sense without MJF.
It makes even less sense without, what's the name's Papa there.
There you go.
With Tully Blanchard there.
Yeah, Tully Blanchard.
But you know what? If they wanted to recreate a babyface foursome of the Pinnacle, these three are a good start. And then maybe grabbing a... Because I don't think Wardlow's there yet.
Yeah.
So get a guy who can, threaten for the world championship.
Okay, yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
And, folks, let's be honest. If you ask Jesse, every faction gets better if you take Shawn Spears out.
Notice how I have not mentioned his name. I am happy he's going to be a dad. That is a beautiful thing for all of you guys that get the chance to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for him and Cassie.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And I hope he continues to do the wrestling school and continues to be a loving father and husband. Don't bring your ass back to pro wrestling. Don't you do it.
Right. The next match we got a ladies match with Toni Storm and Kyla King. Toni did get the win there.
Good match.
Yeah.
Kyla's getting better.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she showed some indie stuff that you can't do on live TV. And what I mean by this is if Toni is a little slow to respond to what you guys probably plan on your next moves and all that, don't whisper it, or because unfortunately you work in AEW, Kylan, and I love her. She's young. She's going to get really, really good. Actually, I think she's supposed to be at Women of Nations, so I can't wait to see her live in action.
Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
Don't start mouthing shit to Toni.
Yeah.
Get up, hit her, get up to her, and then tell her, because we shouldn't see that.
No.
Because now when I can see the match, I can see you calling the match. Or like I said, it's a big Becky Lynch thing. Becky, when you come back, please don't do that again. You got to stop calling your matches. But one of the things that I kept seeing in this match was her telling, because I think this is their first time working together.
Okay, yeah.
But I thought the match was good.
It wasn't a bad match, but like you said, there are little nuances that guys like Triple H learned to get rid of.
They teach it out of you.
Yeah.
It's a thing that, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with being an indie person. It's just certain things in NXT or even on the main roster, before you get there, they start to tell you, hey, work this out of your game because of television.
Yeah.
It'll just work better.
It's solely because it's TV.
Right.
It's a TV.
Because we want people to still feel the show. That's all.
Yeah.
They did give that match a C+.
Fuck them. You only get one women's segment on fucking AEW. Nice. It's still the worst thing Toni does, maybe because he seems to can't get laid. I don't know.
Oh, I'm the one ruining the Bleacher Report sponsorship now.
I just ruined it for good. They gave that a C+? You know what? No, I would have gave it a B- because the match itself was good.
Yeah. How they're using Toni Storm since she got there?
It's still because she's getting a title match now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
out of seemingly no. Do you want to know why?
No, because she's the number one ranked woman.
Well, that and because she and Thunder Rosa said, "We'll talk about it."
Yeah.
That's all they said.
Just take this belt off of Rosa so we can move on.
Yeah, please.
And I believe the last match of the night is that we have the trios title tournament quarterfinals with the Elite
and
with
here's
just the
where
Young
it
Bucks.
just gets.
And they didn't say who was going to come. We all knew.
The worst kept secret in all the professional.
But they're going against Lake Function.
How
Jesse's
intro for Rampage was shorter than what Justin Roberts fucking had to do.
Andre Algrado, Rush, and Dragon Lee.
Roosh.
Was that Roosh?
Yeah, Roosh.
Okay, sorry.
No worries,
Roosh. Andrade, Roosh, and Dragon Lee were the three. And the Young Bucks, they came out and then
Please don't do the entire thing, Justin Roberts. It was way too goddamn long.
Then we get Kenny Omega
I did laugh, though,
back.
Oh, I laughed because it was so stupid.
It was stupid.
All of these accolades that technically mean oh, hold on, Jesse. You want to know what's funny? You were confused by the ending of the night, but yet Kenny put all that in.
But you know what?
But they don't do it for star ratings.
But you know what? Why did they need to announce them? Bring out the Bucks and then go, okay, who the Bucks can be with? We all know, but it's a better...
Because Justin Roberts has to get in the long Kenny Omega. He has to get that in.
To be fair, that's not his fault.
He could
I know,
still,
it's not his fault.
He could still get that in with Kenny just say, okay.
Also, the reason he had to announce him
is the Bucks, and then boom, they come. Then he comes out and he can hit it.
We're agreeing with you, but the other reason is that somebody has to pay Nakazawa's. Paycheck. For
I really thought Nakazawa wasn't not going to work here anymore, but apparently not.
Well, the only way that he's in the U.S. is because he's Kenny's personal fucking assistant.
Kenny personal bitch at this point.
Yeah.
And then
of course Jesse's favorite Jackal was back.
Why was Don Callis here?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
He was like trying to play babyface after everything he did, and then like I don't know if Jim was supposed to do it, but he was just like irritated by him.
Yeah,
he's like, why are you trying to come out here and apologize to us now? Like, get the hell out of here! You're an insufferable jackass.
So I would have preferred Jericho on commentary to Don Callis.
And I don't even personally hate Don Callis,
no.
but I'm like, why is he even out here if Kenny's supposed to be with the babyface Bucks?
We knew it was going to happen. The Elite did win.
Yeah.
Of course.
They took out... Hold on. You missed something, Leroy. To win the first round of the tournament, they took out Dragon Lee, Le Rouge, Andre El Idolo, and a small child in the first row.
Okay, yes.
I'm not joking, Leroy.
Yeah.
They hit a small child with that dive out of the ring. They took out a small child at ringside.
Maybe that was somebody's child.
It was!
That was
a random fan that they didn't tell this was going to happen to.
I hope not, but it's probably what happened.
Well, Jesse, you said about 6 to 8 months ago last fall, someone's going to start suing over this shit.
That might get a sue. I mean, MAW, we do a better job with that.
Well, it's not only that, but it's like Jesse's pointing out, you can't have one of the security guards go stand over there or at least let them know to get the kid out of the fucking way.
Hey, as soon as you start seeing them, like kind of, as soon as you saw Kenny...
No, not even that. They took forever to set this up.
Right.
I mean, this was the part that got hokey to me was it took forever to set this up.
Because then at that point, you can go warn them to get the hell out the way.
They had 3 minutes to do this.
Hey, guys, get out the way because they're going to do this spot really quick.
And the reason why they had 3 minutes to do it was because Rick Knox was the referee, the most useless corpse referee in all of wrestling.
He gets skinnier and skinnier, and there's no reason for it.
All right,
but then bad.
He looks like Skeletor now.
As everybody noticed, Omega did come up. He was wearing a black shirt and kind of a brace.
He was wearing
and
a compression shirt.
A compression shirt.
It's like he's not. 100%.
So apparently he's only about 60% healthy. So of course, like I said, the report said that by September, he and doctors have said he could be 100% healthy, but the key word was could.
Yeah.
But that was back in June.
Yeah.
So. So of course after this match, I mean, listen, they worked a AAA style match. You either like it or you don't.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. It was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed it, and then by the way, for those of you wondering what was the heat between Dragon Lee and Rouge, they've been having that.
So I'll just tell you this, guys. As someone who watches AAA a lot, they always fight. That family is always fighting.
There you go.
There's never any real story to it.
No.
They're just always fighting each other. He'll end up right back in the faction in like a month.
Yeah, because what's canon in the U.S. is not canon in Mexico.
Right.
But even worse is that like Dragon Lee doesn't even mention his brother when he's in Japan. So I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's funny they put on there that Omega executed an ugly one-win angel, selling their shoulder injuries.
It wasn't that great. He couldn't get him up.
Yeah.
See, the problem with that move being done particularly ugly.
Breaking news. This is all great news for Minnesota Viking fans. Andrew Booth Jr. has avoided major injury, so he's going to be...
Oh, that's good. I saw that last night. That's good.
There's no details, but it is not a major ankle injury.
As a Packer fan, I won't help you win the division.
Just because your quarterback actually had to have surgery.
I was making fun of Packer fans. You couldn't just take the W. No. December 4th, you're going to suffer for your indiscretions. Now, that's what I was saying. Okay?
Okay.
Zach will bang his mom later. And I'm talking about Zach Wilson will bang his mom later.
Well, that's good for him.
Zach Wilson is the MILF hunter, so I'm going to let him know about this.
He's good
indiscretion to the king of New York sports right now.
He can't handle my mom. I don't care what that statement says.
You know what?
He can't do
it. Oh, he'll do it.
No, he can't.
He got that dog in him. He got that dog. So
Jesse can't wait for football season.
Can't wait.
Hey, guess what?
This is your favorite quarterback you've had in a long time.
I do like
this. This match got an A.
Of course it did.
I don't. In this case, because to me it was a AAA match. And I tell people about AAA, if you're not into just high-flying entertainment.
No offense, Jesse. Let me take this because I'm always the one.
Go ahead.
Okay, let me be fair. I like indie-style shit. I gave GCW Company of the Year.
Yeah, because they were really good last year.
They were great last year.
Really good last year.
You even said during the show, how did I not even think about these guys? They had a great year. But no. Okay, this match, because of easily the 6 participants, because Kevin is a former Mega Champion,
right?
And the Bucks have worked AAA.
Yes.
Not as much because
they're former AAA tag team
champions. Yeah, but not as much as Kenny because AAA is not working with the Bucks that long.
No.
Good luck. The cartel's like, these guys? No.
Send the white boys back to California.
But anyway, here's the deal. This match, I will say this. If you can't watch this match and be a fan of Lucha Libre and say that just because of the competitors you didn't like it, this match was spot for spot what a AAA main event would look like.
And it was a lot of fun. It's just high flying. It's just go.
That small child might be traumatized, but in Mexico they're also not that safe.
That's a lawsuit for Tony to worry about. Them giving it an A, I have no problem with. I had a lot of fun with it.
The following moments, Jesse's got something to say.
So afterwards,
he tried to be New Japan.
They had Kenny cut a promo.
Yeah, wasn't it really? You're to call this a promo? I thought it sounded like the ramblings of a man who may have borrowed Tony's white powder before the match.
Now, for the first time in his career, this being a breathy...
sounds almost right.
Right. This time, him cutting a breathy promo, I don't mind because it's after a match.
Well, it was right after a Lucha Libre.
Right.
If you're not breathing heavy, you didn't do much in the match.
I always said that's why Penta L0 always seems like a monster in the ring, because he used to be able to cut promos after his AAA match. And I'm like, how are you breathing normally? So
even Ray Phoenix just takes.
It's like natural for them. It's no problem.
Yeah.
Just freak athletes. But so, at first he was just kind of talking about him coming back, not him not being sure about coming back. Respect that.
Yeah, no.
We've actually seen WWE do this off air. If they bring a wrestler back and they'll talk about it off air.
Yep.
Give the fans something positive to go home with. No problem.
Yeah.
But then
Leroy, you didn't hear this.
So he starts talking about, I might not be as good as these guys. He points to the Bucks in the ring. And then for some reason, even though they're technically supposed to be babyface, they're supposed to be baby Bucks now.
Yeah.
They go, it's not like you guys cheer us. Matt, what the fuck are you doing? What?
You should have kept your mouth shut.
Matt should have kept his mouth shut for the last 4 years.
I digress from that for a second. Because, like I said, I saw that part, and I was just like, what is Matt Jackson doing? Like, why does, anyway, his brother's better. So, Kenny kind of bounces off of that, but it gets stupid. Because he starts talking about stuff that makes no sense.
He starts talking about how we do this to send you, and by the way, this is one thing I will agree with Jim, who always makes fun of Kenny for being a wrestling artiste.
Sure.
Kenny does talk, because Kenny said, I'm going to talk to you like a real person. That's not what I got from this.
Kenny doesn't actually speak like a real person.
No, he doesn't. So maybe it was
AEW,
the real Kenny.
He hasn't.
Yeah, he talked
very normal in New Japan. Like, I can show people those promos. They're like,
he's got better Japanese and he's got English, apparently.
He does really good. And I'm like, that's why I don't know who this Kenny is in AEW. I have no idea who this guy is.
He started saying, we don't do this for the money that we make for our families.
Right.
We don't do it for accolades, for titles. By the way, even they didn't say belt, so apparently Vince ain't wrong about something. But no, he sat there and said, we don't even do it for match ratings. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
You're full
guys?
of shit there.
You have the only 6 or 7 star match.
Yes, I think like 7-star
yeah,
match.
you have the only 7-star match in the history of the Wrestling Observer. The Bucks, one of them has the most 5-star. Kenny started rambling, and I'm like, is he actually on some kind of painkiller that's like starting to take effect right now?
Maybe.
Because Jesse, you finally heard the whole thing this morning, and you don't know what that was.
And then it's almost like he tried to turn heel at the end of the promo, but didn't. And it made no sense. By the way, unfortunately, this is AEW, so when they left, after they were done talking, all of a sudden you realize, oh yeah, now they're about to tape Rampage. What the fuck is this company?
It's a mess.
Oh, by the way, did you hear the rumor that somebody posted that AEW is now hiring seat fillers?
Yeah, so
really,
so the thing they used to talk shit to WWE about.
So apparently they can't fill the arena either.
No. So the thing
They're finally admitting
they used to talk shit about WWE for, which by the way, like I told people, when they started covering up, it didn't matter because it's not like they were showing the camera aside of the crowd anymore either in WWE. That was a smart thing, but and so they started to tarp all that off and just let it be for a cameraman.
Yeah. Which you'll probably see when we go to Raw. By the way, we're all going to Raw, folks, there in October when it's in St. Paul. But again, you're in St. Paul.
Right.
It's not the nightlife that
No.
Minneapolis is.
Are they going to give us like tickets like that thing that we have up there? Too?
That was something you had to order specifically. Allison specifically spent extra money for those tickets. So
okay. We'll get some.
I don't know what she purchased for this package here because I have created the monster because apparently she has a standard of where she must sit. So if we go to wrestling shows, which she's all in for, she ain't just getting random rafter seats. We have to get good seats. So I'm not mad about it, but at the same time, like, that's expensive. Anyway.
That's what I said when I saw it. Damn.
But before we move on, guys, there's a part in the thing you're missing because Jim said it on his show and I looked it up. Leroy, in the instructions for these seat fillers.
Oh, yes.
It says you have to be willing to stay at the arena from 6 p.m. local time until 11 p.m. local time.
Holy shit.
It is a 5-hour day.
And how much are they paying these
They're not
people?
paying these people. You get a free $25 ticket, and then they buy you food or something. Like, people volunteer for this shit.
I mean, I would too.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you're a psycho for wrestling.
That's true.
And to be fair, Jesse, you'd eventually get kicked out after 3 because you'd be booing half the segments anyway.
Well, after they were done with Dark and Elevation, and then I saw the Young Bucks, I'd probably get kicked out.
Yeah.
Maybe Jericho.
No, Jericho, you'd be arrested like you were trying to throw a Jets game out.
Well, because once he saw me, and then he would approach me, and then I'd just be like, "You shit."
You'd take the bat from him.
And I'd be like, the bat's not going to help you here. and then he would act like he's a wizard, but what he was doing was he was calling the cops on a black man. But that's cool, Jericho. I mean, you and your wife did decide to go to January 6th. That's cool, man. Don't worry about it.
Jericho wasn't there.
Well, that's right. His wife was.
But his wife was. And his sister-in-law, I think.
So just saying the family.
Yeah, basically.
The wizardness runs in the family.
Yeah.
So is that hood for the Wizard White? I'm just wondering.
Oh my God.
I don't think I'm allowed to answer that. I really don't. I don't think FCC Airwaves allow me.
Stu Hart would be so proud of Chris Jericho.
He's probably.
What do you mean? He wasn't actually in the real dungeon. Stu wasn't there when they did the dungeon.
I know.
I don't think it's white. It might be an.
So now we got to move on.
It might be an off-white eggshell color.
Or it could be gold.
So we've been on this topic now for a while. We're going to finish up here. Welcome back to WFF What If. The simple question we said last week is, Jesse, Tony has openly admitted he's been talking to Stephanie and Triple H and Nick Khan. What if Tony actually starts to have a working relationship with WWE? Where does the AEW audience go now? Because once again, somebody else will have sold out to the evil empire.
They're gonna flip.
So let me be very, very clear.
All of a sudden, Tony Khan's going to be the enemy.
Let me be
he just might be.
Yeah.
Let me be very, very clear. Business-wise, it would be fucking genius.
It'd be brilliant.
Well, their company would stay around then.
Well, I'm not worried about that because even with Zaslav, they're paying pennies on the dollar for pro wrestling.
Zaslav doesn't care about this company because it's not eating anything. His pocketbook is so deep. We would have to get hard hats and excavation equipment to get to the like monthly quarter review of what he does.
Tony Khan might be in the red.
Zaslav is not.
Warner Brothers is fine.
Yeah, Zaslav is not.
So like
we know Tony's.
So that's why I tell people.
The only way Zaslav's not to interrupt you. The only way Zaslav's going to get the axe out is if all of a sudden he gets a call from a group that was unhappy with something that goes wrong on that show, which sadly with this circus of people might soon
happen. Yeah.
I don't know. There could literally be a booby slip on TBS and they might not care.
That's true. TBS doesn't have that much.
They'd be like, dude, you guys don't watch it, so why are you complaining to us?
See, that's the one thing I like about Zaslav. Zaslav isn't like the TV executive of the early 2000s or the late 90s who cared what random mothers at home wrote letters about. Zaslav is like, you're not watching, so why do I care?
No, I get it. He does run Discovery as well, which is very family oriented.
Yeah.
Discovery makes him hand over fist for the entertainment of the educational stuff.
Yeah.
This is free money.
This is Zaslav. Zaslav doesn't see this money until all of a sudden his accountant goes, there's this thing from TBS. Wait, I own that? Okay, all right.
Oh, yeah, I got some
Wait, that made me how much? We're not paying anything for it. All right, who cares?
Give that to my dog walker or something because you know what? I don't need it.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, but back to this.
We're focused on the movies. We've already gotten with the wrestling company. They know their shit. We're not worried about it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Zaslav has probably watched a couple episodes and been like, I'm not paying for it, but God, this sucks.
But man, at least I'm not paying Vince $1 billion for pro wrestling because if this, I'd be pissed.
He'd be at every taping.
He'd be like, shit needs to change immediately if I'm paying $1 billion for this.
That axe would literally just be bouncing on his
shoulder.
Just
on his shoulder, like, so who gets fired first?
Yeah.
So
he might fire just a random wrestler in the bag. Be like, who are you? I don't care. Get out.
Hell, he might like hire like Tony's best friend and be like, all right, now you're fired. See, Tony, see how easy that is? You're gonna be next.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing. If Tony works at WWE, one, it's marketing brilliance for you. Two, it's pro wrestling brilliance because it's now with the guy who ran the brand that before you started AEW was actually the hottest wrestling brand on the planet. And that was NXT Black and Gold.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then 3, it actually does a lot of good things for your wrestlers in the sense that they get to work with people whose shit is mostly cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
who quote unquote actually know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Your women's division overnight gets better.
It gets more time.
Yeah.
The matches that can happen if that happens.
Oh, it's incredible.
It is. Who cares about fucking CM Punk?
Oh yeah, no, Triple H don't give a damn if CM Punk's
involved. I mean, he'll book him in a match if they want to do that.
He'll squash his ass.
Because he'd be like, it's not my fucking paycheck. That's yours.
Yeah.
CM Punk be like, I want to go against the champion. Okay, Roman, kill him.
Like, we respect that you offered John 6 because maybe we would have had to come up on John to keep him there.
Yeah.
Which they clearly were going to.
Yeah.
But, like, we're not sad you paid Punk $8 million.
No.
That's your stupid fault. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Especially when you gave away your leverage after you did so.
And that's the part that Jesse was alluding to that we're going to have to wait on once more news comes out and once we see what happens with All Out is that, folks, not only does he have $8 million, he can do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. He has handpicked every opponent, every storyline, every promo. Punk gets as much time as he wants. What does Tony Khan really have over Punk? Because Jesse, we talked about this after Corey mentioned MJF. No, it's a real contract that Tony would have to buy out. If Tony wants to, and I know he has the money for it, but it wouldn't look good if he just wrote Punk a check for whatever the contract actually is. But anyway, back to your point, Jesse, of now, why would the stands be angry?
So the stands would be angry because now you've got nowhere to go with your WWE hate.
That's true.
Like you got nowhere to go.
And the one thing they refuse to acknowledge ever, there's no heat in the locker room. The wrestlers aren't mad at each other.
No,
that's not a thing. I don't know where you people invented that. But the locker rooms constantly tweet back to each other, do the, way to go, all this other kind of stuff. And besides, Triple H has already offered the sledgehammer of Grapevine of Peace because he gave it to Jade Cargill. who destroyed a pair of homemade wings that was apparently that segment was awful.
I don't know what the hell that was.
That was, we're not even going to talk about it, but like, folks,
stupid.
Folks, let me tell you something. Ember Moon apparently was more hurt over her homemade prop, which Jim Ross called a prop, than she was getting fucking fired of WWE. Like, this is like I don't know what the fuck this was. And again, why is Stokely there? I don't understand.
All I know, and what pissed me off when I heard about the segment, and I'm like, man, I don't think he's a racist, but boy, every time he does some shit with the black wrestlers, he just proves Swole's point.
Did you see MVP?
Why are there 3 black wrestlers around fried chicken and you destroy it with the sledgehammer?
Did you see
yeah,
MVP's
horrible.
tweet? I don't care what all the wrestling fans want. It's probably not you don't need to see every black wrestler put together in the same thing.
Well, that's just because everybody keeps trying to put black wrestlers with Hit Row because Swerve's not there. It's like, guys, stop it. They're a trio. It's fine. They're a trio. Stop it.
Which, by the way, I hate to say it, yeah, they're not the best rappers in the world, but they haven't been the worst thing to happen on WWE television the last few weeks they've been there.
No.
So here's the thing.
Where do they go, Jesse?
They probably should work with WWE.
Yeah.
I seriously, like, you're going to probably end up losing Punk because I really do think he's going to let him go home. Because he's not going to fire. That guy's not going to fire, but he's going to be like, hey, Phil, take a break. Take a break.
Take a Charlotte break.
I'll give you some cocaine. You go ahead, take a break. And
he's going to tell him no.
Because we know Punk will never work for ROH. We know that for a fact. Yeah. He'll never go work the ROH section because Colt's over there.
Triple H ain't giving you $8 million, and neither is Stephanie.
No.
So
no.
You might as well keep your money, homie.
It would be very interesting. I mean, I don't think doing weekly shows with them, but pay-per-views.
No, but
just having.
You could have an underground partnership where NXT randomly has some people show up from Dark, or Dark has some random NXT people. Yeah. You could do that.
It's
weekly. I mean, but like overall, like on the every 6 months, you could have a joint show.
Well, I'm about to say there's also the thought of, so I think Steven Larson listened to the show because I threw this out here a year ago.
Yeah.
The thought of, like, you do something with Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You have a little fun with it with AEW. Yeah. And because here's the thing, you're going to split the wins. WWE probably wins overall, but you split the wins.
It's their show.
Triple H should be fine giving you some wins because he'll tell those guys, like, it doesn't hurt us. It actually helps the business. We all, because of course when you don't tack every win and loss. By the way, I blame British fans for that because they've been doing that shit for years, and I get it because Progress and all those companies do that, and New Japan used to do it a lot. But there's a reason New Japan even stopped. Sometimes a loss is a good thing in pro wrestling.
Well, but Triple H, as we talked about having the most losses in the history of WrestleMania, he's the guy who's going to look at you and say, sometimes a loss doesn't hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No, it don't.
He's the right guy to say that. And if anyone sits there and says, well, who's this guy? He had all these wins.
Future Hall of Famer.
He's the guy. No, not just that. If someone goes, look at this guy did nothing but win and has the most losses in the history of the biggest show in the world.
True.
But anyway.
And SummerSlam as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Like somebody told me when they
What's his Survivor Series record?
Probably not good either.
Yes.
I do know his SummerSlam record apparently is actually worse than his WrestleMania one, which I was like, damn, that's impressive. Because it just felt like he won all the fucking time.
Yeah, no, it seemed
so
that
the fact that he lost it a lot, he lost a lot at the big shows is a shock.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things. Tony would actually be doing good for not only himself but AEW to do this.
Yeah.
But the Smarks would hate it.
Oh, they would. They would wake up one morning, see that deal, and be like, "Who do we cheer for?" Because, Jesse, you and I both know. Jesse, they're from the Bucks camp. They're from the camp of everything we have is built on hating this one company.
I got bad news, Bucks. There's a very small chance if you get put in a match with the Usos that you're winning.
Not in Canada, at least.
Well, you'll win by forfeit, apparently.
Yeah, Canada.
That's how you get your one win is the forfeit in Canada.
So at least we know they won't be on Raw this week.
Yeah.
Poor Jay, who has nothing to do with that, can't go either.
Why is Jay in trouble?
Well, Jay probably could go,
Yeah.
but they probably want both of them there. So.
And by the way, we're gonna get to it because SmackDown hit the 1,200 mark.
Well, that's why I put that down.
Jesse finally got what he wanted. He got Roman and Sammy, and it was gold. We'll talk about it in a second.
That was beautiful.
So Tony actually wins if he does that. Because he got a win with the New Japan show.
Yeah.
And it sounds like New Japan is actually willing to have some of their wrestlers on Wrestle Kingdom as long as the story works.
And we'll actually talk about this on a serious note from a once again, we always say we do want AEW to be better. This is the proper thing to do because then if AEW works with WWE, then all of a sudden Nick Khan talks to Tony Khan,
right?
And we have a deal with New Japan,
right?
And all of a sudden Jesse is crying in his bedroom because Okada is on Raw.
We hear coins.
And Roman's in the ring.
Crying isn't the right word, but we'll take it.
Well,
that's the word we're allowed to use by the FCC. Okay.
Right.
This would be a fantasy for it to happen.
Yeah.
For somebody like me that is, I'm a wrestling fan. I love watching wrestling, and so is Jesse, and so are you, Zach. But us guys, we would love it because. Some of our guys we feature, maybe some of the guys from Minnesota that we love would be featured.
Who's
sometime.
the top guy, Jesse?
Let's
take out
that
main
would be
eventers.
awesome.
Who's the top guy you want to see get a shot in New Japan? Maybe they'd build him up a little bit.
From which company?
Say again.
From which company?
WWE.
Who's not a champion?
Yeah.
Man. I mean, Drew would be an easy name.
Okay.
Yeah.
He already kind of works that style, really. So, I mean, it'd be a pretty easy transition.
I mean, I have
it
seen
would be, yeah.
Ricochet did do much younger in his career, but he did do a couple New Japan shows in the juniors.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to see on there, too. Ricochet.
He's much better now.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yes.
It would be interesting.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Baron Corbin.
Oh, really?
Because he's such an asshole.
Just, Jesse... Sometimes you don't do this the best, but let me be your conscience for a second. Just admit it. You want to see Yano steal his money. You want to see Yano sell him something that doesn't make any sense.
Let me be very clear.
I
love watching Yano scam anybody. Except Okada, who never buys into his shit. By the way, Okada did win the G1, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
We'll get into that in a little second here, yeah.
But they could literally have the Undertaker come out of retirement to just show up. Yano come out to sell him something. Tombstone Yano, and I will call it the greatest thing pro wrestling has ever done. Like I would be, and so would the Japanese fan. But it's the greatest thing to happen in pro wrestling.
That would be very, very hard to argue with. That.
And then Yano smiles after he gets Tombstone because he's Yano. Yano never changed.
I'd smile.
All right,
from
so we gotta get off that. But so Jesse, we'll just transition into that before we get to a couple other things.
Sure.
The G1 has climaxed. It is over.
It came.
The 32nd.
Well, that's
G1,
what a climax is.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
You brought yourself into that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love you and hate you, my friend.
Right.
I don't know what number New Japan thing this is for this title, but this is the 32nd G1. It's the largest G1 they've ever had.
Yes.
Okada in the 50th year. It seemed like maybe Jesse they gave him the win because it is their 50th celebration.
You know what though? Here's the thing with Okada, and by the way, he did take a small leave of absence because him and
his lovely wife,
lovely Japanese Yoshira, I forget her first name. It's Yoshira or something like that.
They just had a son.
They just had a son.
Oh,
beautiful! Congratulations to them. So they're both taking some time off.
And in that interview, New Japan fans should be very encouraged. He did talk very heavily about coming back. So this is not him saying he's transitioning into outside. He can't wait to come back.
No, he'll be back around probably Wrestle Kingdom. So yeah, because
do they have a big show before Wrestle Kingdom to set it up? It's not Dominion because that's after Wrestle.
That's is that Dantaku? I think it's Dantaku. But that only matters if he was going to actually end up defending his championship. It looks like he's not going to.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna be Okada getting his championship match at Wrestle Kingdom. That's what it looks like they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Which right now is a fun story. Now that he's walked away, because unfortunately Jay White took some L's in the G1.
Yeah.
One incredibly funny, by the way. So he lost to, I think he lost to Lance Archer. And, well, I think it was Lance Archer. No, it was Tama.
Okay.
And,
was that in the semis?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the semis.
And so he's kind of giving Tama, at first he's giving him respect. And, he's out of breath. He looks at Gator, he goes, but because Gator's like, you're still the king, you're still the king. He looks at Gator, he's like, but did I lose? He's like, shit. Shit. Yeah, you lost. It was. By the way, guys, go find it on New Japan's YouTube. It was the funniest because Gato didn't want to tell him that he lost. So he's like, no, yeah, shit, you lost.
Where do you rank this in your G1s?
This G1,
yeah, it was a stacked G1.
I put it in my top 5.
Really? Okay.
Right now, I would put it as number 5. One, the fact that they decided to do the 4 blocks, made it so much more interesting.
You had so much action.
Made the finals a lot more fun because you didn't know, because they were still going based off the points no matter what block you were in.
Yeah.
And then the fact that, Tama kind of came out of the C block to do it was awesome.
Yeah.
And, of course, lost to Okada, that's fine. Everyone in the G1 takes a loss. Like, there's never a guy that finishes with anything less than 2 losses in the G1, so I think Moxley ended up with 3 the one year where he looked like he was going undefeated.
Shinsuke went unbeaten but lost the final.
Yeah. But he still ended up, because he lost the final, so he didn't get the title shot immediately. I think he got it at Dantaku.
Okay.
So yeah, it was entertaining. The Jay White storyline is great because now he's got full control of Bullet Club.
Yeah. But
also the fact that he's the champion. And guys that he kicked out of Bullet Club, like Tama Tonga, kind of came after him, made for great story. Of course, the long storytelling between him and Okada makes for just like, man, I think is he going to lose again to Okada? Because technically Okada has a losing record against Jay White. So,
okay.
And Okada, of course, Okada's speeches after he does anything are phenomenal. Like watching the translator's speech, he's just a good guy. Yeah. Like I tell people, it's really hard not to love Okada.
Okay, so they tend to predicate a lot of what they're doing. What do you see? Because a lot of these guys will be here next year. What do you see as some gaijin or just overall surprises for next year's G1 preview?
So this year, one of the big ones was Jonah. They gave Jonah a lot of...
He beat Okada.
He had a lot of domination, even in matches he lost.
Yeah.
So that's a guy... It looks like he's not going to come back to WWE.
No.
Unless Nick Khan can get that deal done and they can share him.
Okay, but to be fair, no matter how much I love WWE, I would look at Jonah and say they love you over there. There's no reason.
Right. Also, they clearly love Tom Lawler over there. I mean, they've been pushing him like crazy.
Tom Lawler, and I know this sounds crazy because Riddle has done such a great job. He doesn't have a bad match.
Right.
Tom Lawler might be one of the best since Shamrock.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I think Shamrock was a wrestler before he was in MMA.
Yeah.
But I want to say this: transitioning either way, Tom Lawler gets this.
Well, because unfortunately Riddle did kind of blow it in UFC because he could have been a bigger success.
Right. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that Tom Lawler, he has come over, and I have loved everything Tom's done.
Yeah.
Tom's great. I love Tom.
As far as gaijins are concerned, I mean, there's some guys that are really into.
Do you think Cobb goes farther next year? Do you think
Cobb has a chance to win it all next year, depending on how they tell the story.
Okay.
Because right now he's still insanely...
Because this was Okada's 4th win.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
4th win. How many more times can they go back to him and Tanahashi before other guys start getting their shine?
I think...
At some point, Jesse, I hate to say it, at some point even they are going to have to sit back and admit that they got to go more gaijin.
Tanahashi... I will say this about Tanahashi, though. By the way, they got some really good up-and-comers. The kid that was in the L.A. dojo with my man, Sato... Kenta's former best friend.
Yeah. I gotta try
or
that
current best
by
friend.
the way.
I was about to say, let's split that.
Yeah.
And then
We got 3 gummy worms in here, folks, and they're on top of a giant brownie.
it just looks so delicious. I wanted to eat it before he got home, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. There's that kid. There's a kid who kind of plays a Shogun. It's a Shogun kind of like character, but he wears a lot of blue.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Only 24. They love him.
Okay, so my question to you now. They still go back to Okada because it was their 50th celebration.
They could probably do Okada one more time. Tanahashi, you won't see win it ever again.
Okay, so now that Tanahashi and Okada are kind of on the back nine of guys they want to push in the G1.
Right.
Is there a Japanese wrestler who is going to become the next? I don't want to say ace because that's probably going to be retired officially with Tanahashi.
Well, I will say this.
Who's the next guy that becomes their fallback?
Well, it'll be Jay White.
No. Like hometown type person.
Oh, homegrown?
Yeah.
Man, sorry.
Not just homegrown. I want basically Japanese style. Who's the next Japanese guy for them? A guy that they go back to when things get hairy.
The hell is that kid's name? From the LA Dojo.
Yeah, it is good.
He tagged with Moxley once. I cannot remember his name for the life of me because he just came back from excursion. But of course, Shibata just got done training him. They're very high on him for great reason. He's a great Ren Nari.
Okay.
Ren is gonna be a dude in New Japan. There's a chance Ren Narita ends up with Minoru.
Okay.
Because they don't really have a lot of major heels that aren't Gaijin. So
Yeah. Okay.
Besides, Evil's supposed to be the other one, but everyone kind of takes Evil half and half at this point. Evil is another guy, though. I could see them, and they finally did start to buy into my man with the mask from Los Ignobles. Son of a bitch. Even I know the names, Leroy, and even I forget how to pronounce them. But yeah, there's a lot of good young performers still in New Japan. But like I said, the guy they're going to lean on the most in the future is Jay White.
Okay. And you've always said you want Roman and Jay White, but you don't necessarily want Jay White to stop being the guy in New Japan.
Right.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah.
In your opinion, how many Gaijins do you think will start to win this thing over the next 3 to 5 years? Because they got to give it to Yano one time. Gato, I will tweet you. I will write you. I will damn near fly myself over there and kiss your tiny Japanese feet. But give me Yano.
My heart wants to tell you Yano's going to win one of the next two.
Okay.
Because
here's the deal.
My heart tells me
Here's
that.
the deal. I think that would actually be one of their best G1 results.
And it'll be one of the best stories they've ever done. Because even him having that kind of run for a short time, this late into his career.
Everybody knows he wouldn't be the champion long.
No.
Everyone knows that.
But it would be so fun.
It would be a month of... Jesse would have those matches saved for the rest of his goddamn life.
Oh, I would like cover them on YouTube all the time, just because I'd just be so in love with them.
Hey, your grandkids would know about them.
Yes.
Oh,
but how long until?
First thing to learn about coming out the womb.
So how many Gaijins are poised to start taking this?
Two or three.
Because Jesse, we're at the point now where even they have to admit a lot of their top stars are Gaijin.
It'll be 2 or 3.
Okay.
It'll be 2 or 3.
Jay's gonna get one.
Jay's definitely gonna get 1 or 2 more in his career.
You think Will's poised to get?
Will damn sure get 2 in his career.
Okay.
So those 2 guys for sure. Look out for Zack Sabre Jr. next year.
Only because Zack is somebody that I think at this point, and I'm not trying to say there's ever been any real tension. That's not what I'm saying. I think Zack has proven, especially to guys like Gato, he is New Japan all day.
Oh yeah. So Zack for sure, and then I'm gonna throw out Lance Archer. They're always high on Archer when he comes back.
He just needs to not go back to AEW because they don't give a shit about you.
Because the Japanese fans love him.
Yeah.
He's presented as a monster over there.
Yes, he really is the murder hawk.
By the way, when he's presented with Minoru over there, that's why Suzuki-gun seems so damn scary.
Yeah.
Because now you got the dude who will actually murder you with the murder hawk, and it feels like it's an unfair fight.
Yeah. If they ever win the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Titles, Jessica can be like,
they'll be champions
hold us
for a
for a
long time.
they're going to hold us for a year.
A long time.
A year, maybe 2.
Right.
Anyway, so it's interesting you bring up Zack
Because
Sabre.
Suzuki doesn't age.
Yeah.
No,
So you bring
don't.
up Zack Sabre Jr. We are going to move on to some somewhat breaking news. NXT UK has been essentially shut down for a period of time. It is going to be rebranded as NXT Europe, which honestly, I'm shocked they didn't do this 3 years ago because the majority of the roster wasn't even from the UK anyway.
No, they came from all over the world.
They were starting to go right around when Walter got there. All of a sudden, these flags were appearing, and you're like, that ain't the UK.
Right, that's not the United
Now,
Kingdom.
Jesse, I don't want to say argue, but you kind of jousted with someone on the internet. I saw this because whenever Jesse comments anywhere with wrestling, he pops up in my timeline.
Yeah, he does mine too.
It starts a conversation, it seems like.
Somebody didn't like the releases,
Right.
but you kind of gave a positive spin on the
Right.
releases.
So here's the thing. Everyone, listen, no one wants them to lose their jobs.
No.
That sucks. But everyone's looking at this like it's one of those things that Vince was like, we're shutting this down, blah, 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 blah. No. With Triple H and his wife and Nick Khan taking over.
And Sean, because we got to give Sean a lot of credit for NXT stuff.
They're looking at the NXT UK stuff and they're going, listen, we need to do a rebrand on this.
Yeah.
We need a fresh start on this. But because they're also losing some of their TV licensing stuff with BT Sport by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And the fact that BT Sport, for understandable reasons, it was so easy to be like, well, we're not going to let you use the studio because we got to do soccer. We got to do football.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, and it's the biggest
You're in
sport.
Europe, folks. Soccer's king.
It's the biggest sport technically in the world.
Yeah.
I know we believe it's the NFL, but that's here in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's actually
The
football.
NFL's trying to get in that market.
Right.
They're trying.
They are trying.
It's a hard one
Expect
to get
some
into.
games in
Basketball
Germany.
right now is the second biggest thing in the
Yeah.
world, but soccer's number
Expect
one.
the NFL to start having regular season games in
Right.
Germany, Australia,
Right.
Japan.
Right.
And let me tell you something, folks. Those stadiums will be full.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
They will be full.
And the big reasons I was okay with the releases was because I figured, and then it was reported, that they were asked, listen.
Well, they were immediately releases, correct?
Well, no. So basically, they were talked to about 2 weeks ago. This looks like where it's headed. It's a little bit after Triple H was put in charge, and he sat down with that roster. Apparently, he's like, it looks like we're going to have to rebrand. So here's your option: you come to the U.S. We're going to work you guys into NXT in the U.S. But of course, if you do that, like Walter did and some of the others, you're going to have to live in the U.S.
Yeah.
Because we need you in the U.S. That's just how it goes right now.
There's no real way around
Right,
that.
right.
Especially with the fact that, folks, my lovely wife is doing better, but she caught it. Guys, COVID's not over.
No.
And it's far from over.
Right. So
How do I not have it? I don't know. I have no idea.
It's a virus. It's with us. We
Yeah.
just got to
Right.
live with
Yeah.
it.
Right. So they were all talked to about this, and a lot of those wrestlers decided, you know what? Because number one, they're still actually being paid out the rest of their contracts in one go.
Yes.
So
One thing WWE never gets credit for is guys tend to get paid when the contracts are over.
and it sounds like Nick and Stephanie decided to go ahead and just mostly pay out the last bit of their contracts in one go if they decided to leave.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, listen, it's not what we wanted to do, but
Yeah.
it's something we need to do.
I think Nick is actually starting to understand how this business works a little bit better. I think he's a little more adept to what it is.
Sure.
And again, he comes from Hollywood. When you cut bait with someone, you just got to pay it.
Well, I mean, in Hollywood, they cut bait. They've already pre-processed what they're actually going to pay you.
Yeah.
So you're just going to get your money, but we're just never going to work with you again.
Well, that's the thing. In Hollywood, you still get paid. You just get blackballed.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get blacklisted, and that's it. So they're getting a massive pay leave.
Yeah.
But they're also now able, I think within the next 2 weeks, to just go work wherever they want to.
Yeah.
So they're not being held hostage. They get to get right back into the indie scene if they want, especially in the UK. Progress is still going on.
Yeah.
Yes, when NXT UK started, they did buy some of it. But Rev Pro and Progress are still going on.
Yeah.
This now also allows some of those companies, if some, because there were some words, some guys wanted to start some companies, but it was hard to run against NXT UK.
Yeah.
Now they can do it.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a 4-month window where it's just going to be all indies there for a while.
Yeah.
And the other reason why this wasn't such a bad thing at all is they all left on positive terms.
Yeah.
Triple H and that crew talked to each wrestler. We would rather keep you, bring you either NXT.
Well, that was the thing people have to understand. There was a job waiting for
right,
you.
but you're gonna have
but
to
you
move
gotta
to the
come
US.
to the U.S., which we'll get into here in a second, because now we're going to transition into NXT Heatwave, which raised the ratings, and boy, was this a hell of a show.
Oh my God!
From start to finish, I love this show.
It's pretty good.
Hell of a show.
What do you got, Leroy?
Loved it. All right, we had the lovely North American Championship. First match, Carmelo Hayes did win and beat Mr. Vici, but
I don't want to interrupt you, but I have to speak to some people in the lounge.
Yeah, lovely match.
And I'll be sending this to some of you.
Okay.
You're sitting there commenting, "Damn, that Carmelo Hayes is good." Where the fuck you been? This is the same Carmelo Hayes that was in the black and gold brand. This is the same Carmelo Hayes that has been here since night one. Now, okay, people that don't necessarily know the PWL from our show. The people in the PWL have been hating on NXT 2.0 because of the color scheme, because of the music change, because of all the Vince hate. Fine. But don't sit there and all of a sudden, because of the Heatwave, because that's when they seem to finally catch on, and be like, whoa, look at all this. I'm like, this show is the same as it was night one when Sean took over while Hunter was at home healing. So I'm not about to let you off the hook where you're going to say,
no,
man, Carmelo Hayes is good. No, he's been great for a long-ass time.
Right.
Been watching him when he was in that little tourney when he got that win.
He was in the first breakout tournament, wasn't he?
He was in that. And I've been watching him since then.
Sorry, the second one.
Right,
Whatever. But he was awesome in there, and he won it.
He put him in with Adam Cole, who at the time was the hottest thing in wrestling. And let me repeat that. The hottest thing in all of wrestling was Adam Cole. And Carmelo Hayes shows up one night, and I guarantee Jesse was like, oh, damn, they about to do this.
Well, I was just shocked that they actually did the match after he won the tourney.
Yeah.
Now, of course, with ACH, I mean, it was a guy they were high on. He made his own decisions.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's the one time I cannot defend a black man on something because he's just wrong. But on that situation, because Triple H wasn't trying to do anything wrong with him.
Well, not only that, but it's like that's not how you handle it.
No.
That's how Punk handles it. But I think we've learned that's not the guy you should emulate.
Never learned from him.
No.
Yeah. So, but Carmelo's been great. And really, the young... Yes, I'm one of those people who still has his issues with Von Wagner. But it's the young nucleus of NXT.
I think Vaughn is getting better on the mic, but he's saying less.
Yes.
He
is saying less.
Fucking speech impediment.
Yeah, it's not.
They have to find a way to make that work, because he. So somebody commented, and I laughed, and I'm like, "We're horrible as wrestling fans," but I thought it was true. He looks and sounds like a big dumbass Elmer Fudd.
He does. It is
like
sad.
He just looks and sounds, and it's distracting. Now some people are like, well, people, Edge used to make fun of Jack Swagger because of it. I'm like, yeah, but Jack was so believable in the ring that you overlooked that.
Yeah, exactly.
Vaughn is half and half.
Right. But yeah, no, it's like I'm not letting people get away from the fact that this match was a banger from start to finish. Carmelo Hayes is a guy that if he ever becomes a world champion on the main roster, Jesse, the presentation alone is going to sell anyone in the world.
Without a doubt.
The presentation. The man is going to walk out there. He's instant, and I hate using this word a lot, but it's just true. He's instant swagger. Well, not swagger, but swag. He's instant swagger. He's instant everything. The guy is clearly going to be someone that the ladies will love to watch.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The guys will want to emulate.
For sure.
And he's just, to quote Pat, he's a dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, and then, of course, Vici, who we all know is just wonderful.
What a rebrand.
He's just wonderful.
What a rebrand. It's gone so well.
Oh, yeah. What did you think of his move where he jumped on the top rope and went to the other top rope and did that flip? That was...
So that's a homage to Christopher Daniels.
Yes.
Christopher Daniels, that used to be called the best moonsault ever.
Yeah.
Before he actually started to do it from the turnbuckles.
It was literally called the BME.
Yeah.
Commentators couldn't get it in fast enough because he was that good at
it. He did it. He did it better when he got to the second bounce because the first one he almost fell.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I was like, whoa, what is he doing? And boom, boom.
Yeah.
Jesse,
beautiful.
Jesse,
oh my God.
Jesse sat there like a lot of people, and rightfully so, was like, what are they doing breaking up, Imperium?
Yeah.
But clearly, all three guys are thriving.
Sure.
Oh God, yes.
All three guys are doing just fine.
I know some people asked about the report, would Vince have buried Gunther? And I'm like, well, I'm just happy we didn't have to find out.
Yeah. But here's the other thing. Everyone thinks that was because of the R-Truth segment, but here's the thing people misunderstand. That was so early in the Gunther thing that Gunther's body transfer, I don't think Vince knew if Gunther was going to take that seriously,
right.
So that might have been the issue.
Right.
But now I think Vince would have looked at that guy and been like, I have no choice but to use this guy. But no, all three guys are
To be
driving.
fair, he was the one who pulled the trigger on making him Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Vici has like Jesse, the rebrand could not be any better right now. And his match, by the way, his match with and Allison popped for it actually. His match with Andre Chase was so good. Go back and find it. Andre Chase, that guy, if there's ever a guy in wrestling who found something that worked and just said, "Screw it, I'm all in," it is Andre Chase.
I hated that fucking.
I want the sweater. I'm getting the sweater.
I hated it when it first
We all have
started.
to get that sweater and
but
wear
now
it. Fun.
you love it.
Because when I first saw it, I'm like, who is this stupid ass looking professor with these stupid ass jeans? He's gonna wrestle in these stupid ass pants.
Yeah.
What are we doing in pro wrestling? I thought we were over this in the '90s. The character is latched onto me. I love him. Now.
This guy, again, when you find a niche where somebody gives you as much TV time as they give him, let him go.
Right.
Let him go. It's been great.
Yeah, I know. We said Carmelo. We did hint that he could lose his match, but he did win.
Yeah.
Which I was.
Jet, you were like 50-50 on this. I think.
Well, no. I thought he would win.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was just like, they're not going to take the title off him for the rebranded Vita Vinci. What is his first name?
Giovanni.
Thank you, Giovanni Versace or some shit like
Vinci.
that. Thank you. See,
Vinci, yeah.
It's all Italian.
Every time
I'm terrible at it.
Every time Wade Barrett says it, it gets creepier and creepier. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Wade's slowly becoming my favorite commentator because whatever role he's in, he just dives head first.
Well, he seems to be more free on commentary now too.
Oh
so.
yeah.
Yes, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Next one up, we have Cora Jade defeating Roxanne Perez by pinfall.
Okay.
Good match.
Okay. Jim, hey, sorry, not to interrupt you, but before we get to the match, Jim doesn't like what Vince brought into wrestling, which is the pauses, which is the weird moral dilemmas that people have. This is how you do it well, though.
Yes.
This was phenomenal.
I agree.
The pain and anguish that Roxanne Perez showed you of the wrestling match, not only going on in the ring, but in her head. This was phenomenal from start to finish.
I agree.
Yes.
And this girl, you wonder why they pushed her before Triple H was in charge. She just gets this.
Mm-hmm.
She might be farther along than Cora Jade.
Oh, she definitely is.
Yeah, when I saw that too, I was like, well, how are they going to use? Because that weapon was going to get involved somehow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, boom, when she dropped her, boom, hit her head. I think it was her head on the kendo stick. Yeah, it was a good way to end it.
This is when it didn't seem, because again, WWE, unlike AEW, and again, not just shot, it's just true. They catch you up before a match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understood why she had the mental pause, why she did what she did. This was great. And you know what's weird? I'm actually, now that I'm going back and thinking about it, I'm popping more than I did during the match. I thought it was that good.
Oh, it was a great match.
It was so well done.
It does set up for another. Of course, they're going to have another one between the two.
I don't know about that.
They could.
I actually think they will.
I don't know about that.
It won't be right away, but they will.
No, it'll be
down the
a
line. But yeah, this was great, and I just applause for two women that just, you gave them 15, 20 minutes, and boy, they hit a home run.
To remind everyone, Cora Jade was in the AEW locker room for a while.
Yes.
3 matches with a spider box. That's all I can say.
Just throwing it out there.
All right.
But yeah.
Yep. After that great one, we had Tony D'Angelo against Santos Escobar, with Tony getting the win, getting the crowbar before the brass knucks. This is very interesting.
This is the best match of the night to me. It wasn't even close.
I didn't know if we were going to agree, but
this was the best thing of the night to me.
Another point where the whole dilemma of them looking at the weapons, they did it flawlessly.
Poor Santos went for the wrong one.
Yeah.
Well, he was on that side.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Tony D doesn't move that fast. Just jump over the guy.
Right. You're faster than him.
He's got too much cannoli in him.
He's had too many pizzas.
Well, hey, but you look at it too as like Escobar, his weapon will be the knucks. Tony's is the crowbar.
I also want to point out, this was said after the match a lot in the lounge. Boys, you're just now complimenting Santos Escobar. The man is a god in NXT alone. And then Derek didn't realize, but Derek's not up on like Mexico wrestling. He's got a 20-year legacy back in Mexico.
There's a lot of people who did not know he was 38 until it was reported that he was 38.
He is 38?
Yeah, and I was just like, guys, no one knew that he was close to his 40s. Apparently, because he looks so young. I'm like, yeah, guys, he's very close to 40.
I loved him when they had the mask on him and everything, but then when he took it off.
Well, but that's just it. That's it. If he is done with WWE, which I think Triple H will find something for him for a short period of time. If he is done, Jesse said it. He goes back to Mexico night one. He's just a star.
Like I said, I don't think he's done. He's going up to the main roster. It'll be very interesting to see.
It'll be interesting if he brings Legado or if he's just by himself.
Well, he can't bring Legado.
Legado. Because he lost, Legado stays with Tony.
They're still there.
That's going to be a fun story.
That'll be fun.
Now, what was interesting, because this was something that, and I don't want to say Vince, but this is something that Bruce was really bad at, was transitioning. The fact that the rest of Legado's still there, it gives Tony such a catapult to move past this, but also still keep the heat.
Yes.
It was a match that put an end to a great feud, but there's so much to catapult off.
Right.
I think, like Jesse said, this was the best story of the night, the best match of the night. When this was on so early, I was like, okay, I mean, I guess I kind of get it, but at the same time, you almost could have ended with this thing.
You can do some really cool, interesting things with Santos. I know some people are like, do you think he's world champion material? I don't know if Triple H sees him that way, but Triple H just see him as a monstrous asset. He paid that man a lot of money to come to NXT.
Well, not only did he pay him a lot of money to come to NXT, the underrated part that a lot of people we know don't know, he paid him a lot of money to take that mask off.
Probably.
Yeah.
He spent 20 years in that mask.
That's family heirloom in history, yeah. So yeah,
because his dad was damn good too.
Right.
His father's a legend.
So yeah, I can't wait to see what happens on the main roster. It sounds like we're getting a draft sometime after Cardiff.
We might be.
We're about to say we might be at the first night of it.
Yeah.
They're saying it's a possibility. No, if he comes up to the main roster when Ray is done with Judgment Day, a match with him and Ray. That would be fun.
To be honest, you mentioned Judgment Day. And, I mean, I don't know how they would do this because technically Finn has always been the leader of whatever faction he's in. But him and Judgment Day would actually be a hell of an addition.
He'd have a new familia real quick.
Plus, he wears a suit very well. So
yes, he does. That's the thing about it he is such a well-spoken person as well that, like, if you can't find a use for Santos Escobar, that's on you, Bruce.
That's and
I know Bruce isn't doing it.
I'm about to say it's all Triple H now, so that's why I'm like he'll be on the main roster when. Sometime soon. So I just don't know when.
Yeah,
he'll probably get a short break while they find a package.
Right. They'll probably try to, like they're doing with Hit Row now. Like they'll try to get him started where they know where they want to do a story with him and insert him.
Yeah. Him against Ray, I would love.
Well, I think we have to get that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Ray's still alive and can move like he can move. We have to get that match
with him and
all I know is
Dominic together.
Jesse's brought up that.
But let me be very clear about Tony D'Angelo.
Okay, talk about Tony D.
This dude is an asshole. Let me be very clear. Okay,
well, he's supposed to be.
He's not welcome in our shops. Okay, he cannot go get a sandwich. Okay, and he's clearly screwing up the docks. I'm tired of this guy. We're getting him the hell out of New York.
Hey,
he's terrible at his job.
Wait a minute. I heard the docks were doing good because of the chick.
How in the hell do you get a Mexican cartel, okay, to join you and you can't keep them under wraps for money? This guy's terrible as a Don. He's an embarrassment to the family, and we're going to get rid of him. But congratulations on your win, you piece of crap.
All right.
Next match.
All right.
Had to be a New Yorker again for a second.
You can't follow that up. I can't.
It's good to get the Jersey perspective. Sorry.
That wasn't Jersey. That was New York.
That was New York right
That was
there.
New York.
All right.
If it was Jersey, Jesse would be like, why are we talking about this?
I'm at the beach.
All right.
It's beautiful.
All right. Next up, we have the NXT Women's Championship with Mandy Rose getting the win over Zoe Stark. We did think that Zoe was going to win.
Shocked.
Yeah.
But
shocked.
Then out of that match, they did state that Zoe's
hurt.
Injury.
Nikita's not medically cleared. That's why Toxic Attraction was on SmackDown.
Well, then I heard that because of her vaccination status, they wouldn't let her in.
Well, that's a rumor going around.
That's what I heard, too.
That could have
Which
been
it could be.
But, and I will say this for Nikita, because again, we don't care if you're vaccinated or not. That's not our position.
No.
But you should, baby girl.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But here's the deal.
We love you.
We have to protect.
Yes, we
two
do.
of America's greatest assets I've ever seen in my life.
I'm just going to let you go.
That's true. That is true.
It's the greatest American import since yams, and she would know a lot about carrying some yam bones right about now.
Yes.
And it's incredible because she carries this great nation on them yams, and she can stretch so well.
I'm trying to do
and
a
she's
job
so athletic and thick. But
don't you dare shake your head at me. You're in this as much as he is.
I am very thankful for them.
So baby
yams.
girl, I can respect your want for freedom, but we have to protect you in the yams of America. That's all I wanted to get at.
That is true. I totally
We're
agree.
very close to Thanksgiving. We need the yams.
Yes, we do. It's
They
coming
go
up.
great with breast. All right, go ahead.
Oh, yes.
All right.
I love you, Jesse, for that.
All right.
Oh, my God.
The one thing I want to get back to with this, though, is this is the first match where I said to myself, okay, Mandy finally gets the nuance. Yeah. Not just the in-ring.
Right.
Not just the...
Because the end was incredible.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, I just, like I said, because I figured Toxic Attraction is getting a call-up.
Yeah.
And so I was just like...
The tournament just begged for them.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so I figured, Mandy is taking a turn in the ring. She's going to work a lot better. Because also, like we kind of mentioned Charlotte earlier, seems like Ashley is taking a longer break. Which is fine.
If that's what she needs.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
Please.
Love you, man. Stay healthy, but please keep doing you outside of WWE for a while. Yeah. I love her, but still. But yeah, I thought this could be good because we're starting to establish one with Bayley's group.
Yeah.
Toxic Attraction is already
Control, I believe, is what they filed for.
I think so. And then
That's what they're
or
calling
Control
themselves?
or something like that.
No. Damage, fully written. Control is CTRL.
Oh, okay.
That's what they filed.
Okay.
That's what they filed for.
Because then I'm guessing then at some point they'll give them a group music and all that.
Yeah,
package.
exactly.
So Toxic Attraction's already. It's already a good package altogether.
Yeah.
So I just figured I'm like these three are going to get called up.
This was the match where I said to myself, Mandy has caught up to wherever she needed to be during that first call up.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
getting
sure.
her up on the main roster.
Even though, like I
eventually.
told people, I thought her stuff when she was doing the stuff with Otis and then Sonya was fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun during the pandemic.
Also, we wish that and hope that Zoe is not as hurt as she was the last time. Hopefully, everything's okay there.
It just sounds like bad luck, but it doesn't sound as serious.
That's what I'm. Yeah, no,
that's good. Yeah,
that's what I
hopefully
read.
she's back up and about.
Because I was really high on the thought of like. Because Zoe as a performer is so fucking good.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, man, I really do kind of want to see her on the main roster. Unfortunately, Triple H has to refresh in this women's division thanks to all the cuts they made. But
yeah.
I'm like, man, it would be cool. So to hear when I heard she was hurt, I'm like, damn, I feel bad for her.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Great match, though.
Oh,
Excellent match.
Great match. All right, then we got the last match of the night with our lovely champion, Braun Breaker, taking down JD
McDonough.
I fucking hated the end of this.
I know you did.
Oh, God, I hated
the
end of this.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, Jesse's not going to like this.
Oh, I'm okay with the character being this creepy technical wrestler that creeps you out because he's probably very capable of manipulating and destroying your body parts in the ring as creepily as he talks about it. But just putting your arms out like you're supposed to be Bray Wyatt and taking a spear is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen a little guy in a ring do. Sean, like you said, this is you. What the fuck was this, Sean? I've never seen Sean open his arms and take a spear.
No.
He didn't even want to lose to Hulk Hogan, so he oversold for 10 minutes, and it was the most laughable thing on a SummerSlam. Go find that match on Peacock. I'm like, it's the best Hulk Hogan's looked in his career. Thank you, Sean. But damn,
and Sean had to work for it.
Oh, he overworked for it.
Oh yeah.
I don't get this. I don't get that ending. You could have just had Braun just beat him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That what does that do for his character? By the way, I did see the meme of somebody boasting Finn Balor's head in the game and being like, "Oh, I didn't realize JD McDonough's in the game."
Allison hates JD McDonough because JD McDonough actually got to be in a room with Finn Balor. Anyway.
Oh, you don't want to know what's worse for her? He got to be in a room with him 5 days a week.
Oh, I know.
For like 4 years.
She knows that. She knows that.
And he still had abs.
Yeah.
Like he does now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good match and everything. And then, after everything was done, we had a surprise show up.
So we got 3 of these surprises through the show.
We did.
So the first one,
the big one at the end, I think.
Right.
Well, there was the Diamond Mine segment that we kind of glossed over because it wasn't a match, where they're accusing Roddy of working with Tony D, which honestly I think is going to go nowhere.
Well, it's right now it's an interesting story beat because it's a story of he really hasn't been completely on board with them.
And I get that, but what I'm saying is I don't think Tony's going to all of a sudden show up in.
Right.
No.
It's
a subtle thing they were able to find.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Gallus showing up and beating the shit out of Diamond Mine was awesome.
Folks,
I just did not expect Gallus to show up.
Folks, when you finally see Gallus in that ring, oi.
And Triple H and Sean brought the full coloring package with them, and I love it.
Yep.
Them boys are awesome.
Yep.
Joe. What is his last name from the Gallus?
Look it up, Leroy. My phone's
It's not Joe Gacy.
No.
Who wasn't on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe and...
He'll look up Gallus's members for
Thank you.
Go ahead and just continue your thought.
So, they come up from behind. And at first I was just like, who the hell are these 3? And then I actually saw Wolfgang's face first.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no fucking way.
You popped a little bit for
I
Gallus.
did. And so, they're beating the shit out of these boys. And then at first when they look at Roddy, I'm like, wait, this is how they're getting Roddy out of Diamond Mine? Is that he's joining Gallus?
And then they beat the shit
And then
out
they
of
beat
Roddy.
the shit out of Roddy. And I was
Let me
okay.
Let me tell you something. Look, Diamond Mine's full of some big bad boys.
Yeah.
Some big meaty boys.
These are some big meaty
But here's the deal. Them UK boys brought the hammer down.
Right.
That was a beat
Members,
down.
Gallus, I wasn't
Gallus.
sure.
It's just Gallus.
I wasn't sure how to spell it. I'm glad I've fucking...
G-A-L-L-U.
G-A-L-L.
Yes, I know. I
That's all
found
it
it
is, yep.
with my lovely spelling.
Yep.
Okay, Joe Coffey,
Joe Coffey.
Mark
yep.
Coffey,
Yep.
and Wolfgang.
Joe Coffey.
Yep.
I couldn't remember his last name for the life
Wow.
of me.
Yeah.
Wow. Joe is 5'11".
Oh, Joe. Oh,
Mark is 6'2".
oh, Joe will fuck you up.
And
Wolfgang is
6'4".
6'1".
Oh, they got him listed as 6'1"?
They have it at
He
Wolfgang.
seems so much taller than that.
Yeah, Joe 242, Mark 235, Wolfgang 255.
Joe will fuck you up.
Joe Coffey will. I know people that watch it, they see UK, but Joe Coffey will straight up fuck you
Well,
up.
They were obviously ones who wanted to give the Americanized version.
And by
a
the way,
shot.
I'm glad they did because they will do well in NXT.
Yeah.
They look strong. Looks like they have some good healthy
Well,
beard.
I mean, when you
good
think about
healthy
it-
beard there too.
There's a lot of good beards in that group.
Oh, I love it.
From Imperium to Nathan Frazier.
Also, Joe let his hair grow out,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah. From Imperium to Nathan Frazier, I don't think those guys really had anything negative to say about the move.
No.
So,
Well, especially now Triple H is fully in charge.
Yeah.
They've all been like, oh, so much easier.
And now
coming
we
to work.
get to the other.
Also, so the other one before the intercourse.
Who was the lady, Jesse?
So
we got a message, by the way.
Her name is Blair Davenport.
Before we get to Blair,
but
there was a message, Jesse.
So
it was delivered backstage.
Andy was talking to the new women's tag team champions, and then in NXT.
Yep.
And then she's handed a letter. And the letter
it was more of a photo, but
looks like a love letter, but it was clearly drawn.
Looked like a love letter.
No, it was a love letter.
That was a love letter
from like 3rd grade, but it's Dexter Loomis sent her a love letter.
Enter Loomis.
So there's a chance she may get called up.
Gene posted something saying, "What if Dexter's just trying to help AJ? What if he's the guy who's just trying to protect AJ
by killing him?"
Well, that's what I said. It's like, what?
He's just gonna hide and write
trying to figure out what Loomis is going for. Yes.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Do you remember Heidenreich?
Yeah.
Taking Michael Cole.
No. Heidenreich wasn't trying to protect Michael Cole. He was just trying to bang Michael Cole.
He was trying to rape him.
He was trying to just smash Michael Cole.
That was very uncomfortable.
Don't do that to my boy Dex.
Okay,
poor Heidenreich. That basically ruined him in WWE.
I know, and everybody thought the hand come. Oh my God, it's Bray. No, that was Dexter. That was not Bray.
I don't know.
No, actually, no. Leroy, you have to understand something. We do not know what that was.
So I've like looked into that photo a few times in that video.
For me, it looks like Dexter. It doesn't look like Bray.
No, because Dexter. No. Here's the thing. Here's the nuance you're missing. It didn't have any lettering, but the Fiend had rip-off gloves.
Right.
Dexter has full gloves. Those were rip-off gloves.
Those look like ripped-off gloves. Now, I know some people say they think it's Dexter because it was a long sleeves.
Yeah.
But the Fiend, the last time we see him in a match, had a full bodysuit. He had a long. So I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
Triple H is apparently going to take WWE and turn it into the land of random little fucking nuances.
All I know is that we're all going crazy now because apparently Bray did show up to Connecticut. And it was a very long meeting with Stephanie and Triple H.
Let me tell you something.
So we don't know.
Let me tell you something. You don't have a meeting that long and not sign something. You just don't. That's not how it works.
Signed when he shows up. We don't know.
That was like when Zadarius Smith got to Minnesota, and everyone's like, "Okay, they're trying to show that they're tough." But then when he left with a contract, I'm like, "Oh wait, he was here all day."
Yeah.
He was here all day. They were actually courting him.
And the Minnesota fans were like, he better not leave without a contract.
Well, that was the thing, though, was that we didn't know where our money situation was. And it was like, okay, maybe they're bringing him in to, like, show other free agents that, hey, we're serious. Maybe it was like maybe it was a PR move.
Right.
And then he signed it, and I was like, oh, we got money now.
So there's a lot of rumor
that
he is going to be the reason why Roman loses these titles at Cardiff, Bray Wyatt.
And it could. That's a
great
way
to
show it.
But there's also been confirmations now, because this has basically been confirmed. Tony, you fucked this one up big time.
I don't think he could have ever afforded Bray, though.
No,
I think he could.
No. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because Bray knows what he's worth.
Oh, yeah.
But, Tony, the hype you could have had on Halloween to sign this guy.
I know.
Bro, that might have shifted the... See, that's the thing. That's one of those what-if moments.
Needle mover.
Yeah, that's one of those what-if moments where you look at yourself and say, could that have been the momentum? Because that would have been on top of Cole, on top of Bryan, on top of Keith Lee, on top of Swerve.
Yeah.
Swerve, get out of the contract and come on home, baby.
They are tag champs, to be fair to them.
Yeah.
They're just only featured on Rampage to show no one watches.
Yeah.
It probably gets less views than Dark and Dark Elevation.
Actually, no, that's been confirmed, but still it's 300,000 people, period. Anyway.
So
Raw segments get that.
But it was Dexter Loomis's love letter, and then Blair Davenport comes, rips up the... For those who don't know, Blair Davenport, of course, is Will Ospreay's girlfriend, also known as Bea Priestley. This is interesting.
Yes.
This is more than interesting.
Because Dexter's married.
No, it's not even that.
No. That's
not
the point.
Will Ospreay and Seth Rollins constantly talk shit to each other on Twitter.
They constantly have a battle.
And Bea Priestley is married to Will Ospreay.
Congratulations to that woman.
This is interesting now that she's been called up, because now at some point, I would think you have to consider. Yes, he's going to stay in New Japan, but you would have to consider. Seth is the right now the Joker heel.
Yeah.
Maybe he decides stomp Davenport out, which then brings his wife back as a heel. And now all of a sudden we get the mixed tag match we always wanted, which is Will Ospreay with his wife against Seth Rollins and his. Triple H, I love you. I swear to God, I love you. Like, when I saw her, I'm like, holy shit, this is interesting.
There we go.
This is so interesting.
Gotta
and then,
love the intrigue.
At the end of the night, so here's what they did do. They kind of spoiled
their
the
own tournament. Yeah. but I'm not as angry once you found out they're rebranding everything. It didn't bother me.
Oh, yeah, because I went and saw, the NXT UK
They're going to the castle
come out
for this.
Yes.
Are they going to do it at
Yes,
the
they're
castle?
doing it in the Cardiff.
That's at the castle.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah,
Braun has to turn around, and all of a sudden, there is, by the way, one of the most underrated people in this business because he's never been on American TV well enough. Tyler Bate is a
actually
guy.
what's interesting. So it was reported they were doing the castle. Yesterday, it was reported that Triple H is actually going to run an NXT pay-per-view in 2 weeks against All Out.
Yep.
That's a rumor too. Yeah, I've heard that
so
too.
It might not actually be in Cardiff. Actually, still might be in Cardiff because Worlds Collide actually might be in the UK.
Yeah.
So, but there's been no confirmation.
Well, the last one was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so when they reported that on Saturday, I'm like, well, very interesting move, Triple H, to go, you know what? I like because he's actually talked about how he likes a lot of the wrestlers there.
And
because he wants them to eventually sign. He also worked with most of them.
Right.
Okay, is it going to be a unification match for the belt?
Yes.
That's what it says, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So they're going to do that to get rid of the NXT UK title.
Yeah.
So when they rebrand, they can have the
Probably bring back the European Championship.
Why not?
NXT
I mean,
European
why not?
Why not?
Well, yeah.
The one thing I will say about this, that
we will have to have a new
people are
belt.
missing-
Right.
people
I agree.
People
Leroy.
have not mentioned this, even though he is looming large over this entire tournament that's probably not going to be shown anymore, and this Worlds Collide.
Well, we're going to see it all.
Well, yeah, we'll see it. But here's the deal. There's a man who is the reason why this tournament happened, who is hurt, who is out, who had a hell of a time the last time he was here. Ladies and gentlemen, Ilya Dragunov was not released.
No.
Ilya Dragunov is a member of WWE.
Yes.
And that is something that is very,
I know.
very interesting.
Yeah, it's really also interesting. Well, one, unless a hurt wrestler asks for the release, WWE usually takes care of wrestlers who are hurt. And then two, especially Triple H.
Yeah.
And then two, what's really interesting to me is now they have a fallback plan for NXT Europe because we don't know when he's coming back, but he's still under contract.
Yes.
And because he's still under contract, you can go, dude, take your time healing.
Yeah.
We'll actually extend it. We're just going to pay you more money.
Yep.
And that way, when we bring the rebrand back, we can bring you back.
But here's the deal. The top two wrestlers, arguably, in the last couple of years when they've been one-on-one, was Walter and Ilya.
Right.
Jesse,
Wish I had a banger match.
Jesse, you might get them at WrestleMania.
I know.
You might get them at WrestleMania.
And because it's Triple H, it very well could happen. So
I
there's
think
a
even
dream.
Vince was impressed by those two. Not in the right ways.
Right.
But if you can impress Vince at all.
But I don't know if they would get a big spot that Triple H would give them. At
Triple H
WrestleMania.
is going to make sure that match is later
Right.
on.
Middle of the card where it's breathing between two matches maybe that are good, but no one really is super into, and you just get this banger.
And the truth is that America, if you didn't see the first one, that's on you. The second one was a banger as well.
You can go find them both on Peacock.
Let me tell you something. What these two will do for a
On the
rubber,
cock.
Yeah.
As Jim would say, and love the cock. I'm glad I have the cock on my TV.
Anyway.
Yes, I said that.
I'm fully aware. But no, what these two would do for an encore rubber match, they might die.
Yeah.
They might die
so,
at WrestleMania.
So you're going to have Sean special referee it.
Yup.
Because you're going to have to stop these two from killing each other. Yeah, it's dream matches are about to start happening, and I cannot wait.
If Ospreay shows,
we already got a small glimpse of it the last couple of weeks.
If Ospreay shows up on American TV,
shit,
Jesse may just
he might lose
happy.
it. He might lose it.
Okada does. I'm dying.
That's
okay.
Fair.
Like I said, I hear the coin drops in da 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 da, and he starts walking out, and whether it be AJ or Roman, hell, don't get me started if it's Brock Lesnar in the ring. That's the day I die from crying.
Okay,
but
me and Jesse me and Zach would we'd have a great eulogy
for sure.
Yeah.
But to me, Will Ospreay,
he died the way he lived, watching wrestling.
Exactly.
Damn, we're gonna miss.
But
him.
Will Ospreay, yeah, I'd be so giddy about, because he's talked about doing matches here without needing to sign here. And now there's an opportunity for
He'd
that.
work a handshake night.
I think he would I think he'd be willing to work any handshake deal WWE and New Japan could put together to make that happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm excited of the prospects. Yeah, seeing Blair Davenport even more than Gallus popped me, because I'm like, this is Bea Priestley and the things she is capable of in a ring and as a storyteller.
Yeah.
And now we're getting closer to her being around Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. And
you want your next generation after the Four Horsewomen? It's
here now.
It's coming.
Bea Priestley is here.
It came across the pond.
I will say this: if next week Meiko Satomura decides to show up,
Jesse, did you know that WWE has on their own website rebranded the Superstars look?
Yes, they have.
Did you know who's on that?
Meiko Satomura.
There you go. Because she was not released.
I would think he's offered her a lucrative part-time contract to just come to the main roster.
Oh, she'll beat somebody up. She will whoop someone's ass.
Because also the fact that he knows, think about it, now on the main roster, I have Io Shirai or Io Sky, I have Asuka, and I could have you. Holy shit.
Io.
AEW can't put a women's dream match together like that. That's fucking insane.
Sadly, Kenny couldn't.
Because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
But Tony couldn't either.
Yeah.
And I don't actually think Tony's an idiot. He's a mark. That's the one thing I agree with MJF about. He's too much of a fan to just run a company.
Right.
But you Meiko, Io, I'll throw out 5 names. Meiko, Io, Asuka. Ready for this?
Okay.
Bianca, Charlotte. Give me that Fatal 5-Way. Give me that Fatal 5-Way immediately.
Nice.
That is one where even AEW fans are like, yo, if Dave can't give this a 6 out of 5, fuck him.
So, do you think that, and again, no one could see the future, although maybe Vince saw his future and just said, fuck it, I'm going to pay for it.
Well, he paid a lot of people.
What he paid for, I hope it was worth it, but...
Boom shakalaka.
But back to my question, do you think Tony Storm is somewhere being like, damn, I left a little too early?
She's going to say all the right things. But in the back of her mind, she and Thunder Rosa have to be going, damn, it is starting to look good over there. Because it wasn't Triple H that wanted to turn Thunder Rosa into a referee. Unfortunately, that was Vince and his boys. But all I'm saying is, there's got a lot of the women have to have some doubts because it's been 3.5 years and they haven't fixed it.
Girls, there is a documentary that was put out by the very company that did the deed called the Ruthless Aggression Era documentary. The women know what it's like to go through 3 to 5 years of just being a sideshow.
Right.
And now Triple H is putting on 50-minute wrestling clinics, and almost half of it's the women's matches.
Letting the women main event, and it just feels natural in WWE. Like it doesn't feel forced.
It feels like TNA back when Gail Kim was there. Yeah.
Right.
There we go.
So but no,
That'll be fun.
Heatwave, I gave it 4 out of 5.
It was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely.
There's some things, like I said, I couldn't. Von Wagner's promo, I hated.
It'll be fun next week when we preview Clash of the Castle.
Yeah.
And then the week after
Jesse's going to die from all the wrestling that's going to happen the week before the Castle.
Life is so good
that
right now.
is the way it is, there is wrestling every single night up until...
And to that one page on Facebook, I forgot who it was, for you to not include Impact on Thursdays. Damn you, sirs.
Yeah, I know.
How dare you forget
let me agree with Sami Callihan.
It's like Monday to Monday we're going to be wrestling. It's
Right.
going to be nuts.
Let me be very clear like Sami Callihan. I get it might be harder to find, but you can find Impact.
It's not hard to find.
Go find Access TV.
Well, not to mention the fact, can I just point something out? For all the fucking effort these goddamn internet people are putting in to buy a $50 pay-per-view in 2022, for the fact that as Jim Cornette has pointed out,
can't believe that shit.
It's a traveling audience. It's not a built-in audience.
Right.
Because the same people are going to all these pay-per-views. You know it, I know it, and you know it.
Yeah.
You all can't find TNA Impact. Which, by the way, they're giving you so many streaming options. It's incredible.
It's ridiculous.
You know what's harder to find? A woman's G-spot than finding Impact. Impact you can find.
So science has said that we don't know where the clitoris is quite yet.
So it's going that bad for you?
Oh, no, I'm fine. I can find everything.
Well, first of all, I don't know if you're smarter than a scientist, sir. And second of all, we don't know if it exists. Okay? So you can say you think it exists.
This podcast is sponsored by men.
Well, hey, Jesse, if you can make your girlfriend look like the Undertaker for a few seconds, then you did a good job.
Men.
Well, that's not very hard.
Sometimes.
I'm gonna steal this from Seth MacFarlane. Men, we don't know what we did, but we did it.
But we
There
did
we
it.
go.
But yeah, like I said, I am super excited for the future of wrestling. I'm super excited for the future of NXT.
You know what would have made NXT Heatwave better? A
Oh.
little hot sauce.
Oh, yes, they would have.
Is it Haitian hot sauce?
Oh, yes.
You know what, Jesse? It just might be.
Haitian Heat, brought to you by Al Sands, locally produced here in the Twin Ports. Haitian Heat, 5 hot sauces, 2 barbecue sauces, all naturally produced, all naturally made with natural herbs, natural spices. And remember, this is a hot sauce because he understands that technically the pepper is kind of a fruit. When you can get away from the seeds, it's actually very sweet. So they have a kick to them, but they're also very flavorful. You can use them to marinate in your food. You can use them to marinate your salads if you're eating more healthy. And because it's all natural ingredients, it's very good for you. They're still working on the Amazon thing. I know we tell you guys this every week, but they are working on it.
It is not as easy.
I've started working on one for us, and it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So, Facebook.com/Haitian Heat. Also, you get to see the promos that his beautiful, lovely little girl does for the product. But Facebook.com/Haitian Heat. We hate stealing this from Red Hot, but we love to do it. We put that shit on everything.
All right, so now we got to get to one of Jesse's favorite shows of the year, whether people thought it was good or not, which a lot of people did. SmackDown 1200.
SmackDown is
pretty awesome.
So good recently.
Jesse, the Usos could not enter the country of Canada. We like to call it Bizarro Land for reasons. 6 or 7 of them in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
So,
you see, going to Florida just gets you in trouble. That's why I won't go.
Yeah.
Sammy finally got summoned to an audience.
You
With
need
the tribal
to see
chief?
the
The tribal chief. They actually made it.
Wow.
They actually alluded to the Usos having trouble with the border.
That's
which
right,
I thought
that's
was,
right, that's right.
Which I think is Triple H being like, bro, this is just part of it. We got to make it.
They're
Right.
And he not only got an audience, but the graciousness of the head of the table, he was quite kind to Sammy. He was very.
So Sammy went in,
Yep.
hoping to, as we would say in a kingdom, get courtage from the tribal chief about how he can level up inside of the family, inside of the bloodline. And
it's also very sad that Sammy didn't realize that he could have just come to Roman.
So,
Yeah.
he talked about how, he means no trouble,
No.
but he's been having a lot of trouble with Jay.
Yeah.
And he wants to do what's right for the bloodline.
But Jimmy's been great.
But he said Jimmy's been great.
Oh, yeah.
And Roman kind of was thinking about it, and Sammy said in fear for good reason. And Roman told him, you're right.
Well, that door shut, so I mean,
yeah,
he theoretically
he could have died, but
and he did not on his home.
He did not die tonight, Friday night.
If this was Vince, he would have.
He probably would have died
because it was his hometown.
Right. So Roman goes, you're right. Jay's a hothead. I've known this for years. He's like, what? Why don't you just talk to Jimmy? Hey, why don't you just come to me? And Sammy said, sir, because I didn't think I could. And Roman goes, that channel's always open to you. I've seen the work you're putting in. And then Sammy talks about how, well, you know what, tonight, sir, I would like to take.
Why couldn't we have gotten this guy 4 years
know.
ago? That's all I got to say.
Sir,
you got the full results, Leroy, for 1200?
I'll give you the time, trust me. I will give the Bloodline a chance to. I'm gonna bring you the Intercontinental Championship. And Roman goes,
that would look nice.
Man, that sounds good. That would look real good in the Bloodline.
Can you imagine the shirt with them all looking serious and Sammy just with the
with the big ass smile in the Intercontinental Championship?
No. They're still at the table, but Sammy's just awkwardly over there in the kitchen.
In the background?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Michael Cole dropped an El Generico line.
Yes, he did. That was
the
awesome.
best thing of the night.
And so,
rest in peace, El Generico.
So Roman said.
Well, okay. Sorry, Jesse, but we don't know if he's dead. We actually don't know. He's MIA in Mexico.
He's probably in Mexico somewhere.
Yeah.
So Roman goes, well, you have my blessing, but first, I need you to do me something. A favor. You still talk to your friend Kevin Owens, because it's been a little bit. He's on Raw. It's the B show. So I don't talk to him all the time. And he goes, because of course Kevin on Raw told the Usos after stunning Drew, which apparently just didn't help them at all. Tell your tribal chief he owes me one. And so Roman on Friday goes, you tell him I owe no one anything.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. That was an awkward moment for Sammy. Sammy was like,
Sammy goes, no, you're right. No, you owe no one anything. And you know what? I'm going to let him know that,
Can I just point something out? I think even Jim Cornette has had to admit this. Fucking Trevor Lee and now Sammy. Why are other companies not understanding what these men can do?
I don't know.
This is
one guy has shot himself to the moon and might be one of the best comedic acts you'll find in a long time.
I think after his stuff with Joe Gacy, he'll be on the main roster.
Yeah. And now, where was this in Ring of Honor?
I don't know.
This is fun. Where I'm getting the results. CBS Sports.
Well, CBS covers real wrestling shows.
There
anyway.
we go. And I love their title. WWE SmackDown results recap.
That was good.
Grades. Drew McIntyre sends message to Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn steals the show.
Oh, Sammy was great.
I love that.
Taking the bullet for Roman.
So Sammy later in the night, of course, he took a Claymore.
He took a Claymore. He
did.
He went
to be fair, did not help Roman anyway.
Yeah.
Because he found out there's a reason why this man is called the Scottish Terminator.
Yeah.
And he took a Claymore anyway.
Yeah.
So
Jesse, with only a week and a half left before the show.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. How do you think they're going to possibly get only one belt off? What do you think is going to be the loophole here?
I don't know if they're going to just do one belt.
Yeah, I know. They haven't done anything.
Like I said, I think Drew takes both.
Here's the thing, though. If they do that, it might actually work better because a babyface dropping a title is always more believable than a heel dropping a title.
Like Roman losing to... Well, for people who say Roman losing to Drew clean doesn't help him, I'm like, that's a lie.
Yeah.
I told you guys Drew was still a main eventer. He's still a Scottish Terminator.
Yeah.
His booking was a little goofy at times because of people who we used to control creative, but it's a lot better now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't hurt. It actually helps both guys.
Yep.
2, well, if Bray's the one that cost him because he shows up, it doesn't hurt anybody at all because that's an unfinished business.
Here's why bringing Bray back in Cardiff is the best idea. Because European fans cheer for anything, as Jesse well knows from the book he read of Shawn Michaels when Diesel just took the chair and started hitting the ring post, and that's all he was doing, but the crowd went fucking crazy because it's fucking bizarro world over there.
Love the Europeans, but I also can't stand them.
Love the European fans. But anyway, Jesse, the pop in Cardiff.
Yeah.
For a crowd that's probably going to pop because it's the first pay-per-view in 30 years anyway.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
The pop that Bray would get, it would send shots. Let me tell you something. With how big that pop will be, if that happens, even Dave Meltzer would have to write an article being like, Tony, I know you may not have wanted to pay what he was worth.
You should have.
But this ain't looking good, bro. This ain't looking so good.
Well, right after Sammy's moment there, I thought Cross and Scarlett did a good promo, you know.
Sammy was blessed with this moment. We need to be very clear.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Sammy's moment was handed to him by your tribal chief.
Listen. He got the chance to be a part of the island of relevancy.
There we go.
Yes.
But
and Sammy already looks like he's out of the movie.
But I think Cross's
I love you, Sammy.
Cross's
really
promo after, a little bit.
This is how you build a guy. Just let him
but
talk.
He said,
it's great.
But his moment is that they're two sides of the same coin. They're both chosen ones.
Why did this promo make so much sense? I don't know why.
It worked.
Just
as he said, McIntyre failed, but Roman has succeeded.
I will say this.
It's good.
I think Triple H is kind of setting him up to take an L at Extreme Rules, because I don't think unless that's where they do the one title thing.
Yeah.
Drew's not losing to him.
No.
So that Drew winning is probably the way to get Drew to lose one title at Extreme Rules.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Raw can have a champion and it'll be Karrion Kross.
Right.
But otherwise, because I don't see Drew losing both titles to Karrion Kross. It's not happening.
No.
Okay. So which one is McIntyre is going to have one? Which one is he going to keep?
I think he's getting both at Cardiff.
No, but if he would lose,
the WWE
oh yeah, it'll be the WWE Championship.
It'll be the WWE title.
He'd hold on to the WWE. He'd lose the Universal.
Yeah, he'll keep the Universal.
Only because
he'd keep the Universal or WWE.
Yes.
Keep the Universal.
Only because of two things. Number one, Roman has held the Universal title longer than the WWE title. Two, the WWE title is giving it back to Drew and giving him the moment he couldn't get during the pandemic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Drew doesn't get Cardiff if the pandemic doesn't happen.
Okay, yeah.
I'm half and half on that. Because apparently their plan always was to do a Drew and Roman feud.
That's not what I'm saying. He doesn't get a title win at Cardiff because, in my opinion, and rightfully so, they're trying to give him the moment that he wasn't able to get. And he was such a good soldier during the pandemic era.
Yeah, yes.
He really did deserve the kick. Brock's head in front of people.
Right.
There we go. Well, we did have a number one contender that Sammy was involved in for the Intercontinental title. We had Sheamus, Happy Corbin, Sami Zayn, Ricochet, and Madcap Moss. Sheamus did win. Hell of a good match. Sammy, wow, did he get some great crowd reaction.
Corbin's a great heel, but damn is he stupid. So I need to ask Darren about his family. Because there's a lot of dumbass members in his family. And
congratulations to Darren and Heavy Metal Lore
yes,
on winning their first tag team title.
They did win the title.
Congratulations.
For the AWF.
Yes.
And our good old buddy JDX, he brought another one home too.
Yep, JDX also a champion.
But Darren, that does not change the fact that your distant cousin from the South is a little fucking stupid. So what happens here is he does the smart thing. And he pulls Sammy out. I mean, by the way, the timing was perfect because it was like 2.999, like right before he was going to hit the 3. He pulls Sammy out to try to get the win over. I think that would have been Ricochet.
Yeah.
And then stupid ass sees Sheamus, ignores Sheamus, and then turns around again to then take a brogue. You saw him the first time. Why did you take him seriously the first time?
He's had a bit of a rough luck recently.
You know what he did for the first time, though, and that's how I know Triple H is in charge? He didn't wear a wife beater when wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just out there wrestling with no shirt, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Body image thing, if you want to go to WWE, no longer a concern.
Yeah, it's no longer a major thing.
Just be great at what you do.
Yeah.
Yep, no, it was good. A good match. Loved it. Ronda Rousey came out.
Only in Canada would Sami Zayn get 3 shots on a show.
Oh, I know.
And cheered.
Ronda Rousey came out and got arrested. because it left us.
Yeah, that was at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
You know, so that'll be. But then,
is there no other way that we can build Ronda Rousey than have her getting suspended and arrested? Because like we've done this storyline 3 times.
Here's my problem.
with just her alone.
Well,
she's supposed to be a heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people actually like this badass version because they didn't believe the actual babyface version.
True.
So it actually makes sense that she's this badass version. It's weird, man. And listen, I don't even blame Triple H for doing this because you had to do something with her.
Yeah.
But But I think this is setting up her against Shayna.
Okay.
Because I don't think Shayna's winning.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be because of Ronda's zealousness.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think they're setting up Ronda versus Shayna, and boy, if that's what they're doing, I cannot wait.
That's going to be fun.
That'll be a good one. All right.
Because Shayna can talk.
Shayna can talk, and Shayna can fight in a ring. So it's going to be physical.
There we alluded it earlier, but yeah, we had the another semifinals of the women's tag team tournament.
Quarterfinal, but
quarterfinal. Okay, sorry, quarterfinal. And of course, we were supposed to get one, but no. Toxic Attraction came up, and
did they look in place just nervous? Because that's that's the feeling that I got. Little nerves, but they looked like they belonged there.
Yes,
they just did.
I think they great match.
Plus, they could both go to Canada.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad they
won.
In
this case, the tag team was hurt that was supposed to go.
Fair enough.
So to be fair, that it's injury.
Injury they couldn't go, and
not the fact that Jack Daniels was involved at some point.
And I understand one is injured, not have both of them on there. Toxic Attraction being up there and getting a win. Their promo afterwards, what they did, I thought their promo was great.
Yeah.
Like we deserved it. We are a champion. We are the 2-time. We should be.
Like I said, these two gals were good before they got to NXT. They've gotten better. They're listening.
One is formerly known as Priscilla Kelly. I remember Priscilla Kelly.
Yeah, we all do.
Woo!
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that girl would have made it in WWE after her spot?
Many spots.
Sweetie, wait here. I know somebody put this out too. I mean, what do you think of Bayley's damage control? Damage control. Toxic Attraction for the tag team belts.
No, because they're both heels.
I don't know. Triple H ain't against heel versus heel.
I know he's not, but my thing is that you have a interesting setup on the other side of the bracket for Bayley's group.
Bayley's group could technically lose this upcoming Monday.
True.
So, which I think will actually be the main event of Monday Night Raw, but or it'll start the show tomorrow. Yeah. But
one of the two. Yeah, I
mean,
Alexa and
I don't know.
And that'd be.
But
that's going to be a good match.
They could totally push Raquel and Aaliyah into these things. Because, like I said, I think at Cardiff we will see Sasha and Naomi return. But yeah, by the way, Cardiff is starting to turn into like a big 5 now. It's turning into a big 5, which I used to kind of count Money in the Bank, but it's been semi-diminished by how they treat Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Well, how the previous regime treated Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Well, it's clear to me that Cardiff, because it's the first one in 30 years, they really do want to send these people home happy.
Oh God, yeah.
They're about to do a lot of big things at the show. A lot of big things.
And if Bray does come in, because again, there's a lot of reports out that Bray's been talking to WWE. There's no reports out that he's talking to AEW. Mm-hmm. So unless Tony is about to open the checkbook for Beyond Punk money,
I'm trying not to set myself up for disappointment. Right now, I'm just going to assume he'll be back at some point.
Right.
He won't be back at Cardiff. That way, if he doesn't show up at Cardiff, my heart's not broken. I'm good. You know what? He didn't show up. It's cool. It's cool.
He'll be here at some point.
He'll be back at some point.
To be fair, though, if they have signed him, they might just hold this off longer because, Jesse, what is the one release / cut that has held on this long with this much enthusiasm?
It's Bray Wyatt.
It's Bray Wyatt. They could, this has lost no steam.
I mean, some people think it has, but I don't think it has at all.
To most wrestling fans, no.
I don't think so either.
No. Every time Bray's name comes up, it's still a large topic of conversation.
The damn Fiend masks still show up at AEW shows. You're telling me this dude wouldn't get the biggest pop you've seen in the last 5 years when he comes back? I don't think so.
It'd be something.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, like I said, the payback he can get on Roman for after what Roman did.
There we
Pretty
go.
good stuff.
All right.
Leading into him versus Brock.
They did have an interesting moment with Maximum Male Models in Hit Row. I thought, the rapping wasn't great, but when they get in and threw him out.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it's just one of those moments where I think a lot of the wrestling fans are like, this seems a little Vince's.
Yeah.
Vince-like.
Are they just going to kill the model thing? It
they're
feels
slowly getting there, yeah.
It's slowly getting, because there's a rift between the brother and sister because she's hanging out with Dan
that was
funny.
That was Eli Drake dance. I forget what the fuck his male name is for that thing.
Max Dupree.
I still can't believe it. I love Mansoor, but to do that to Mansoor fucking cracks me up every time. Mansoor.
Well, they got to rebuild him for the next Saudi show anyway.
You know what? They need.
He can't show up in Saudi looking like that.
I think they should just keep the name. You want to know why? Because he's been playing with it on Up Up Down Down.
That's true.
So he's been half like in character on Up Up Down Down. He's Mansoor. I'm like, you know what? You run with this kid.
Run with it.
Like if it takes you to high heights, run with it.
All the best.
But I do like that this is their first feud back.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. And then the Viking Raiders held a funeral for the New Day. Very interesting. And people,
I like this because
and then
creepy.
And then people were hinting at that the person that had their back turned, you just saw her back.
Sarah Logan.
Well, but Sarah's already been talking about wanting to get the itch back. It was just a matter of she was obviously home with the kid. That's really all this was.
I think that was Sarah Logan in that video, though.
I think it
possibly yes.
Yeah.
So I mean,
if she comes back with them, that makes them very interesting.
Yeah.
In the tag division.
It's like, are they next Saturday?
And the one thing that people
I don't know.
And the one thing that people need to understand is they also really are into this gimmick. They're not really forced into this. This isn't like a hokey thing to them.
Also, the fact
that they were really Vikings.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
also the fact that commentary has now not forced to say new and vicious Viking Raiders is great.
Over and over
right,
and over again.
Just let the characters tell the story.
And obviously Seth is okay with Seth freaking Rollins because that's still a thing.
I'm telling you, if they would have confirmed that they were doing TV 14, it would have became Seth fucking Rollins and Triple H around. You're like, yeah, no, we'll just bleep it. It'll be the only F-bomb we get, but we can bleep it.
Print the T-shirt.
There we
Seth
go.
fucking Rollins.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, of course, Liv Morgan, she defeated Shotzi. And then, of course, Shayna Baszler, of course, because their match came out and attacked her and stuff like that. Again,
I don't know if that I'm half and half if that was the work. So before SmackDown, Shotzi took a shot.
Yeah.
At
Ruby asked out Shotzi.
Like I said, that could have been a work.
Yeah.
But she did delete her Twitter afterwards, and I'm like, but she didn't do it till after she lost the match. So I'm like, this could be a work, but I don't know. They're trying to rebuild Shotzi because he needs to now.
Yeah.
What a fucking shame. He has to rebuild Shotzi Blackheart. But right now, Liv is a champion. She should beat a Shotzi Blackheart. I still think Liv's going to win this match at Cardiff.
Oh, yeah. Because the UK fans won't be like American fans and boo because it's fun. They might actually just go with the fact that, oh, wait, we wanted Liv Morgan, and then for some strange reason we started booing.
So this crowd didn't boo Liv Morgan.
No, they didn't.
So, yeah, like I said, I think that was a bad booking decision that happened for 2 weeks.
Yep.
I think that's probably over now,
yeah. Especially
since they've kind of moved Ronda more away from her.
Yeah.
And more focus her with Shayna. That works a lot better because now you're not thinking about that terrible booking decision.
Right,
so.
Yeah. As I said, I had fun ending the show with the Tribal Chief coming out there and then Drew coming out there and poor Sammy taking a Claymore.
This was fucking phenomenal because this is what karma is. So,
oh yeah,
Roman's doing what he does, and that's being the best.
oh yeah.
And
problem is, whenever people want to bring up who the best in pro wrestling is right now, and Jesse says Roman, people get on him, and Jesse's like, no, overall, he is, like, there are better technical people. Jesse will name you 12 people right now that are better than Roman Reigns in the ring.
Right.
But in terms of aura, there is no one better. Jay White's the only closest guy, and he's not seen by an American
I'm about
audience.
to say he's the close to, and he's all the way in Japan.
Well,
so,
they're saying that a lot just because Roman's not there every single week. He doesn't have to be.
Here's the thing.
His presence is there every
would be
week.
there every single week if SmackDown wasn't still averaging 2 million people without him.
I'm about to say, here's the thing about him not being there. People keep comparing it to Brock, and yeah, it is kind of funny because it's like you did cut that promo like 8 years ago about how Brock was a piece of shit hiding behind his contract, which is why he never shows up.
Yeah.
But so it feels like irony in that sense.
Right.
But the difference is when Brock was gone, it felt like Raw was just missing something.
Well, not only that, but when Brock was gone,
Yeah.
Brock was legitimately gone.
Yeah.
Roman is gone because WWE said, you're not on the show.
Right.
We have written something else.
Right.
But we're still going to tell the story.
Right.
Brock was just gone.
Like he was just gone, and people just mentioned him in passing, like, well, the fucking champ isn't here, so.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, with the Usos being on both shows, they're being more active. And with Sammy, I mean, you can keep that
So
story
his presence
going.
is there because of the Usos.
Yeah,
being
right.
there.
And Sammy, we can't
Right.
forget Sammy. I mean,
And Paul.
and Paul.
who might
Hopefully.
be back at some point.
Paul's dead.
It looked like he did die.
Paul's very close to dead, that's for sure.
I really hope not. Because
that was a nasty ass F5 he took the table.
That was.
Yeah, I don't know the last time Paul's taken a bump, but the first one coming from Brock in God knows how long. Oh boy.
To be fair, Brock
Well,
did try to land him on his big belly.
He did.
He tried to help him.
Yeah,
He
at,
did.
at least getting it from Brock, he's going to do it and try to
And by the way,
do it safely.
Right.
He's a good safe.
I know he hasn't been around, but why have we not tried to go after Theory for being the idiot that was like, you didn't take out the Beast first? That was the guy you weren't worried about?
Well, here's the thing. Roman did it at SummerSlam. Because remember, he hit Roman first. He got fucked up by Brock.
Yeah.
Luckily, the distraction allowed Roman to get control of Brock again. And then he fucked up Theory. And he was like, you stupid ass idiot, you're supposed to hit him first.
Yep. Oh.
But anyway, no, it was a week where I was really excited about wrestling, and I had to sadly
I was
also...
going to say, we didn't even get into Raw and that awesome Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre promo / match. And yeah, the Usos showed up, but they're not going to try to pin either guy at that point.
No.
I never understood why people got so bitchy about that. They haven't done a lot of DQs, so the fact there's a lot less DQs, and in this era, Triple H makes sure that they make sense.
Yeah.
No problem.
But,
Well,
but
I did enjoy that, especially when they're going off and Drew says, "We're wrestlers. Let's wrestle."
Oh, people!
Oh
I mean,
my
the
God.
internet lost its fucking
that was
I
mind.
am
beautiful.
waiting for
I
the word
love
belt. That's all I'm waiting
It's
for.
happening. It's going to happen.
Which will happen when Cody gets back in the Rumble.
And then
Hey!
also the fact, I
He
mean,
will
Bobby
drop that.
Lashley feels like a main eventer holding the mid-card title.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now the mid-card just feels better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, the stuff. Now, this week, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Dexter stuff.
Yeah.
Just kill Corey. One, me and your future wife would have enjoyed that. And then two,
Allison would have fun.
I mean,
yeah.
I think I would have been like, Raw gets a 5 out of 5 for killing Corey Graves. Thank you so much. And then
Allison would have been 6.
and then also, like, the camera fucked the whole angle up
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
didn't even see him.
No.
Like, you should have showed him creeping up before. The security, by the way, did a great job of the timing of tackling
Yeah.
him. But the
Well, you want to
camera
know
should have caught
why?
it.
Well, you want to know why? I found out. They called the security from the Target Center who tackled that one protester during the playoffs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Perfect
yeah,
timing. Got it
Yeah.
immediately.
It was great.
Immediately.
She was just going to glue herself to the thing. I'm like, the dude was like, you ain't doing it.
And let's get you out of here. And then
We all know in NBA circles, he'd been eyeing her up from the start of the fucking
Probably.
match. He knew something was
he
going
knew something
down.
was up. And then also him trying to rebuild the tag division now on Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Which is going to be tough because he doesn't have a lot of teams. So people are like, man, there's a lot of mismatched teams. But I think what he's doing is he's telling wrestlers, hey, if I don't have any singles plans for you, you come to me with tag team ideas, let's use them now. Because right now, because of, once again, all the fucking cuts, I'm low on tag teams, but I have to separate these belts.
I was going to save this for another week, and we're going to have a longer conversation about it, but we got plenty of time today. We'll just have kind of a quick conversation. When do you see another WWE mass hiring? When do you think Triple H goes back to hiring people?
I think that it's already started.
Well, no. Those are returns.
Okay, well, sure.
But there was a time when these returns were all part of a mass brand new class hiring.
I don't know.
You think Hunter's going to go do that? Because basically Hunter's playing with house money right now.
So yeah, he is.
So the NIL stuff, it sounds like they signed 5 people from that.
And they're also going to probably, from what I hear, extend that to the UK people.
Yeah.
So
they're going to sign about 12 people from that. They're trying to sign 10 or 5 of their Japan ones immediately because they don't want them to go to the dojo.
Oh, that was the thing that Gene was talking about. If Triple H wants to break into the Japanese market, he's going to have to go through the Yakuza a little bit. It's going to be
tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And then I think I heard that they did get 3 out of Brazil. So, by the way, that means they're going to find another Tai Conti, which is going to be great.
Maybe this one cannot have an ego.
That'd be great. To quote Bill Lumberg from Office Space, that'd be great. And then I also believe you're about to see a ton of tryouts and stuff for the indie people.
Yeah.
Which is why I did finally, and she didn't ask me to do it.
Yeah.
She didn't ask me to do it, but I sent a highlight reel someone created for Sierra to WWE.
Oh.
Because I want her to get a chance.
I all of us say, I would love it.
Because she's fucking excellent.
So
she deserves
just
it. Make
sure that the next time you see a fan-made one, send them Joey.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll try to put the link out and then probably tomorrow
send
for the
them
one
Joey
I sent.
too, because
I know.
And Joey too. Yes.
Joey has gotten so much better over the last couple of years.
Because I really do support these
Not that he was ever
wrestlers.
bad, but
No,
what he's been able to do.
The game is up on a different level.
God.
And so because and people, if you have your favorites wherever you are, only reason I say help your local wrestler out, because I'm sure they'll send the stuff themselves.
Yeah.
But I think when people send stuff to WWE, and Triple H mentioned this, when we kind of get fan submissions about their local promotions, it interests us. It interests us to maybe send out a scout to go check out that promotion.
Well, and especially considering, let's be honest here, after that Nashville debacle, they ain't doing that again.
Apparently, there were 22 injuries.
Yeah,
it was a fucking mess.
22 injuries, and what I heard, 50% of them were quite serious.
It was, and they're all athletes, but they're not professional wrestlers.
But that's what we talked about, was that, look, Jim doesn't like untrained indie guys, but they're used to bumps.
Right.
And if you're used to getting back up after a bump, we can get the fundamentals fixed.
You can train the fundamentals into that.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
But for a natural athlete, people are like, why is Gable Stevens' brother there but not Gable? Because Gable needed more work.
Yeah. And the other thing about it is folks, be leery, because we still don't know the length of that contract. Next couple of years, because the man is a very loyal man. William Regal might be making his way back.
Yeah, it could be.
Well, if they can start to get the deal in place, so could Bryan Danielson.
Well, I think for the UK European...
Bryan is the type of guy, in my opinion, who might do it in general, just because he'll look at Tony and be like, dude, you've done nothing different in the time I've been here.
I think it's more like, this is a fucking mess. Me and Vince had our squabbles. We had our issues. But I always loved him for protecting me. Mm-hmm. And I also always respected the fact, and it sucks that it was there, but there was a fear And there was control in the locker room.
Well, but see, that's the thing, Jesse, and it's an interesting topic to have. Where are we at time-wise overall?
We're a little over
305.
305? Okay, so we'll spend about 10 minutes here just discussing this. The reports are that it's just a fucking free-for-all backstage.
Yeah.
And it's a nice transition. I know we already talked about these guys, but this is almost a completely separate topic because it has nothing to do with their work in ring or with any of the real talent. It's just overall. Jesse, the Cowboys were America's team because there was a man who was a head coach who would have cut your ass in the preseason. He didn't care what your contract looked like.
Jimmy Johnson. Yeah.
And now there is no fear. It's like, okay, Skip Bayless says all the time, it's basically like a country club for a football team.
Right.
There's no fear from the head coach because you'll just go to Jerry and be like, the head coach yelled at me.
Right. Right.
Love or hate Vince, folks, he separated himself from the talent for a reason. Because when he cut somebody, it didn't matter who it was. It didn't really bother Vince, but it couldn't bother Vince.
No, not at all. Here's the thing. I gotta tell people, Vince was good with his top talent. He was decent with the rest of the talent. And if you were lower card, I mean, good luck.
You're lucky. You're lucky if he said hi to you in the catering line. Which, by the way,
follow the rules of not sneezing around him and whatever weird other fucking quirks he has.
He may have known your name, maybe.
But there was clear what was not going to happen in his locker rooms. There was a clear respect, by the way, which is why Phil took his ball and went home. Because he couldn't just went into business for himself on WWE television. No matter how much money I'm paying you, that shit's not happening.
WWE cut his mic because of time. But if they were like middle of the show and he started doing something, they would have cut the whole TV feed. They don't care what the people saw in the audience.
Right.
They would have just cut the TV feed and gone to something else.
So there was a control there. Now here's the thing: people are like, "Well, what's the difference between then Hunter and Vince and his daughter?" Well, his daughter's going to mostly, with Nick, going to just do the business stuff.
Yeah.
What Hunter has already introduced to them is, listen, I do rule overall.
Yeah.
But there's an open door policy.
Yeah.
So unlike Tony Khan, and because my creative has worked in the past, my door is open. You come talk to me about your character.
But he's fostering the Mick Foley idea of come with 30 ideas.
Right.
It doesn't mean we're gonna roll with any of them. But you know what? I think what people don't realize,
but still with Triple H,
we'll definitely ask some of the
there's control there.
Yeah,
because he's not gonna allow bullshit to happen.
We're definitely gonna ask some of the wrestlers when you get them on or when they come on here this question. But I think a lot of what creates stagnancy in wrestling is not being able to at least share your idea out,
right?
As opposed to do it,
right?
Because as Triple H said, let's have some fun for the next couple of months, and the reason why he says next couple of months is that's the TV deals,
right?
Once those are finalized, because here's the deal: Fox might drop them, USA can't drop them because USA has no other program.
Paying them too much fucking money,
but WWE SmackDown will end up on some channel somewhere on basic cable. It's going to get viewers.
Or regular TV again.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's going to get that contract.
Right.
But Triple H is going to say, next couple of months, enjoy yourself. Let's come with the ideas. Because he wants to just basically... Because Triple H... See, with Russo, there were 98 bad ideas. Triple H is saying, let's throw a bunch of shit at a wall and let's see if it works. But Triple H is much more open-minded than Vince in the sense of, I'll let you try it on TV, but as soon as it starts to not work,
we're done with it. There will be no 2-week run of it.
Here's the deal. Oh, wait, hold on. We just found it. Jesse, I'm about to solve your problem here. I found a place for Von Wagner. His entire gimmick is killing gimmicks. When somebody shits the bed and the crowd no longer cares, he kills them, takes them off TV, and then they come back in a couple of weeks with something new.
Yeah, that could work.
We found a use for Vaughn.
I could see that work.
And Robert could become more of a creepy freaking like soul collector.
That might work. He has a feeling there. Yeah.
The only thing he is good at is beating people up because when he speaks,
we don't want to listen.
I kind of want to hit him in the throat. And it's not his fault. He's probably a sweet guy.
Yeah, he's probably a nice guy.
But that lisp and trying to sound tough with that lisp, as a New Yorker, I'm like, I kind of just want to crack a bottle over your skull.
I'm going to kill you, and then I'm going to kill the wabbit. No.
The wascally wabbit. Something in succotash.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Just stop before the axe comes for us.
What? No.
Zaslav, you can't catch me.
I'm just using a voice. I ain't saying
You realize how
anybody's
long
names.
that axe actually is?
He's like, first of all, I'll buy YouTube and then kill you.
Jesse, he'll buy you before he buys you too.
But hey, you work for me. Oh, great, you're fired. Fuck.
Can you at least get 1 week's pay?
If he pays me enough in a week,
just one. It's like $1,000, man. It's nothing to you. That's a penny to you. But yeah, like I said,
I hope it'd be more than 1,000. But yeah.
I'll take 1,000 right
also
now.
in the WWE locker room.
Well, yeah.
What they have over AEW that I see right now, there's leadership in the locker room.
See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
So this is the part that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. I don't think when there's a mass cut, yeah, there's a couple of days of just like everybody's bummed and there's a cloud. But I don't think the locker room has ever been as contentious as people thought. I think the locker room has always had the top guys. They're the leadership. They let you have your mourning period, and then it's back to work. Whereas in AEW, there are no veterans because no one's been in a locker room
there's
like
no
this.
leaders.
Well,
There are veterans, but no leaders.
Yes.
There are veterans in the sense of when you're on the Minnesota Vikings, there are veterans like Harry the Hitman and Eric Kendricks and Daniil Hunter who have been all pros of their position.
But they're also leaders.
Yeah, but no, hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
But they've got the accolades, so the leadership's kind of earned. In AEW, it's a bunch of dudes that have been in the league for 8 years who are considered veterans because they've been there, but they've been on 8 teams in 8 years. Shout out to Trey McGill. Had a great preseason game last night for Minnesota. Signed the guy to a backup deal. But anyway,
There we go.
what I'm saying is that it's a bunch of guys who are veterans because they've been in the business, but they've never been leaders of locker rooms.
Right.
And that's why going back to the start of the show to kind of wrap around, Hangman, I don't know how much you're really able to say to a guy like Punk, because love or hate Phil Brooks, he is kind of a veteran star, but we've never attached leadership.
No.
So maybe Hangman was wrong to say something because of Punk's status.
Right.
But at the end of the day, there's nobody in that locker room to go to Punk or to go to him and be like, y'all should have fucking handled this in the back. There's no reason why it should have made it to air. So that's the thing that Jesse's trying to point out, and I'm glad you brought it up because there's a big difference between leadership and veteran status.
Yeah.
Leadership, as much as Jesse hates this, Tom Brady. Veteran status, Aaron Rodgers. You ain't no leader, Rodgers.
Oh, that I
That's
Ain't nobody
true.
attaching that to you.
No.
Like
that I
hell
agree.
they are. Randall Cobb might, but you got Randall Cobb a
Because
job.
like when I
back.
look at AEW, I'm like the first 2 years it felt like okay, well there seems to be some good guys in that locker room, and now I've started to realize maybe Cody Rhodes was it. Cody Rhodes was the gate stop for a lot of issues.
I think so. And somebody would somebody else would be like, well, then you got the Bucks and Kenny Omega.
They're not leaders.
Right.
They're not. Somebody
Kenny
would say
didn't
they
have
are.
to lead
No,
in
they're
Japan.
not.
He was the leader on screen at Bullet Club. But Jesse, who was the leader behind the scenes at Bullet Club?
Oh, it was Gato.
And the Tamas.
Oh yeah.
The Tongas, they were the leader.
Oh,
And by the way, I believe this man in real life pushes his real life weight around. It was also Fale because you ain't pushing Fale around.
And
Plus, he just wants to drink.
and then there was after that
There was also Okada. There was also Tanahashi.
Well, yeah.
There was a Jesse.
Minoru
it's the sa-
Suzuki.
Jesse, this is the sports analogy. The leadership was there. KD didn't have to lead anybody.
Right.
And now that he goes off on his own to try it, we've seen Brooklyn.
Right.
Sorry, Jesse, but you're a New Yorker. You have to own that a little bit.
No. I don't have to own Brooklyn. I'm a Knicks fan,
you're
which
a
is
Knicks
bad
fan.
enough.
but then you look
Sadly, we've reached a point in human history where the Nets are a bigger shit show than the Knicks.
Beautiful though. Go ahead.
but also you can look at too, and he's more in it for himself. Like Punk is Jericho. Jericho could be that leader, but he's more into it for himself.
Jericho's getting paid
Hold on.
more
Jericho
money.
should be that
Yeah.
leader.
He should be, but he's not. He's more into it for himself.
Jericho is getting
Not as bad as
Jericho's
Punk.
getting two things: more money than Vince would have offered him at this age, and the ability to literally do every bad idea that Vince probably nixed for the last 30 years.
Probably.
That's exactly what Jericho
So I
is
mean,
getting to do.
They
Clip
have
that.
that. You could use Jericho. You could use Dustin Rhodes.
I
He's
think
another-
Dustin
he-
probably should be
he-
a backstage leader.
He can be that leader, but
With the Bucks and
But
Kenny
he's-
around,
but
that's
he's not.
difficult.
Well, my problem
Yeah.
with Dustin, and again, I love Dustin. He's the natural. The match with Claudio is going to be an absolute banger. But Dustin has never been a locker room leader guy. And I'm not trying to be mean to him, but tell me where I'm wrong.
No, he has.
In his heyday, no. But now with his age and his
And
understanding, absolutely he could
And
be.
I get that, but the problem is that if it's never been his thing, and with Cody gone, because Cody got one thing from Dusty that, in my opinion, Dustin did not. He got that natural charisma where people will just congregate to you.
Sure.
People want to talk to you. Not that Dustin is unapproachable, because he's a great guy and probably a great coach on fundamentals.
Right.
But the natural, he walks in a room and everyone stares at you, that's not Dustin. That's
No,
not
it's
his
not.
thing. That was Dusty, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Cody.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing is, Jesse, you want to bring up a list of possible locker room leaders. You've either got selfish or never had to do it. And truth be told, they could be, but only with the guys they like. Let's talk about the Bucks for a second. Where have they ever been that didn't already have a leadership in place, which is why they ultimately left?
Yeah.
PWG, Jesse,
Everywhere.
Jesse, PWG, strong
He's
locker
asking me
room.
questions which he knows the answers.
Everywhere.
Well, yeah.
Everywhere they've been.
The young Padawan
Are
has
dipsh-
become a Sith. This young Padawan,
that.
Zachary B, has become a Sith.
I was
For
always.
asking me
I was always a
a
Sith.
question about absolutes
I was always a Sith.
No.
That's
no.
always been my
and
thing.
dealing in absolutes.
You are not a Sith. I
Yeah,
know a,
And maybe hates sand. I don't know. I've never asked.
I know a Sith. I can feel her presence even from here.
Maybe it is coursed through his veins in his feet.
I've always been more of a bounty hunter, but anyway.
Oh, okay.
But
They're
no,
not leaders.
No,
They've never been leaders.
because PWG was the guys who owned it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Um,
Excalibur and those guys.
yeah. And by the way, like I said, for all intents and purposes, not just from you, but people I've talked to, Excalibur, really nice guy.
Great guy.
You get to Ring of Honor, they were set at the top. You get to WWE for that short run they were there. No one, they clearly didn't like them, so they just got rid of them. and you know, the sad part is in Southern California, because that scene's been down, they were seen as the leaders, even though in Jesse's opinion it should have been Cutler.
And
About to say Cutler's a better person and wrestler, but
in the Cucamonga country,
is that a fruit?
Rancho Cucamonga.
Rancho Cucamonga.
Or is that just
I think it's just a name that they have in Rancho
I-
Cucamonga.
I know California used to be a part of Mexico way back in the 1800s.
How the hell
Yeah.
do you spell Rancho Cucamonga?
Just type in Rancho and Cuca, or just look up the Bucks on your phone if
I
you
was
don't.
going to say Rancho and then California, and I'm sure it'll come up.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you don't want to search the Bucks in your phone history, just type in Rancho
And
then
then California.
there
it'll
you go.
come up.
No, all I did was Rancho, and it came up with
There you go,
Rancho Cucamonga.
But
and
while
the
you
city
discover
in
what it is,
California.
Jesse, okay, who are your people that should take that locker room by the horns? Clearly the Bucks. Clearly Kenny.
No, fuck them. Kenny, yes.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't know
But he's
who.
never had to do it.
I don't know who this Kenny is. I've never known who this Kenny is in AEW.
And I'm not going to ask you to reiterate to the fans why you said that, because we actually had a full segment a while back where you explained what Kenny in Japan was.
Right. I don't know what this Kenny is, but Kenny should be.
Yeah.
The other guy they let go because apparently he had too much power, which is weird to say about Cody Rhodes, who was probably the most unselfish guy in that locker room. He took himself out of the world title picture.
He also, even though he had known he'd been removed from all main TV, he still worked his matches. He still worked his segments.
Still he got people over. Anyway, one of the other guys, it should be, is Christian Cage, but no one in that locker room is going to listen to Christian Cage.
No.
Mark Henry's in that locker room.
Mark's just happy to be there at this point.
Big Show's in that locker room. I'm sorry, Paul White's in that locker room.
No more BS.
No more BS. Until he quits and gets into the WWE Hall of Fame, and then it'll be Big Show. Well, Jerry Lynn, like I said, should be head of just about everything creative next to Tony Khan, so Tony can understand what he's doing a little better, because I don't know how you have that guy there and I don't know what you're using them for.
You know what, Leroy? Write this down because we're gonna do it because we've talked about him so much. Darren brought him up. Next week we are gonna give you folks a preview, an excerpt, the career of Jerry Lynn because it seems like we need to explain to people who the hell this guy is.
Right. I don't know how you have him
because
there.
every time Jesse talks about it, he brings it up more than I do. Jesse's always like, the one name Jesse will bring up in the AEW locker room all the time is Jerry fucking Lynn.
Yeah.
Well, he's there. Yeah, I totally agree. He's there. He should be used, but they ain't doing shit.
Jerry Lynn could out wrestle half that roster today. That's
Probably.
how good Jerry Lynn is.
Probably.
Well, yeah, even now. We're not talking about in his prime. No, right now he could do it.
Oh, in his prime, he was untouchable for about 90% of the fucking
yes.
roster anywhere.
I gotta tell people, ECW wasn't just about hardcore wrestling. They used to have some of the absolute best technical wrestlers on the planet, and some of them would come to Japan to wrestle guys.
It
like
was
Jerry
the
Lynn.
early model for what GCW does
Right,
now.
right.
Because like you point out, Jesse, they're known for the videos of the death matches.
Sure.
But the early card are a lot of really good guys.
It's just technical, you know.
We're going to a show, Jesse, but we're wearing ponchos and glasses. We're doing this.
But yeah, Jerry Lynn's there. Now you got Madison Rayne, who was a women's leader in her locker room.
That's the other problem with the women's roster is that, Jesse, none of these women, they're not those girls because Madison's the most freaking veteran one they have.
Outside of Serena Deeb.
Well, but the problem with Serena Deeb is that they've got her so wrapped up in what she's doing in terms of not just backstage coaching, but sadly they're only letting her coach probably physical stuff. And then also she's so wrapped up in her own story. I don't think they're letting her give the time to the locker room.
Probably not.
Because the majority of that locker room, and again, I know Thunder's there, I know Tony's there, but they're all wrapped up in something that there isn't a cohesiveness of.
Right,
there is not a veteran saying, gals, this is what we're doing, which is why TNA's Impact is so good because you have Gail Kim working the office.
Like I said, there are people capable there. Actually, but they treat him like nothing. But I think Chucky T would be a great locker room leader.
Was he one of the leaders in Gorilla?
Some would say he was one of the standard bearers. Yeah.
Okay.
But good guy. Great wrestler, had a great gimmick. They just don't use the Southern Gentleman anymore.
Here's what we're going to do. Jesse, you've been talking about it. This is a show where we're mostly taping. I want you to use our Facebook page for the next week. Just put Chuck E. T stuff all over it.
All right, yeah, I can do that.
On the Facebook.
I'll do that.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'll text you and remind you so people can understand what this guy could be if you just actually used him.
Because, I mean, we kind of got some hints of Trent, but no one's ever really seen Chucky.
They are using him. Okay, you got to use him correctly.
He looks like a unicorn threw up because New Day bashed in the head.
Yeah, use him correctly.
He's dressing like what the unicorns in the New Day poop out.
Oh,
when they had llama penises on their forehead, as The Rock once said.
Yep. And there's still more over than Chuck E. T. and Trent.
So yeah, like I said, there's really no leadership, and unfortunately, the guy who runs everything gave away his leverage long ago.
Yeah.
And because he never has the balls to actually fire someone.
No.
Well, what's the line from the show Bar Rescue? Is he calls it a landmark firing?
Yeah.
You fire someone that shows